Is it working now? Is it working? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? 1, 2, 3. Wine thief out there, stop breaking into my cellars. I don't know if this thing is working right now. It's working. I see. I see that there are plenty of youngsters out there that are telling me that it is working. This is good. This is good indeed. Good fortune has fallen upon a celestial dragon for the new year. This is how it should be, indeed. It seems that I'm showing a little bit too much of myself down there. Anyhow, we won't mind that. It's getting a little very very warm in here, should I say? I'm not accustomed to wearing these human garments and whatnot, but one of my humans told me that it would look better if I were to uh, dress up for the occasion, as they say. It's getting quite stuffy in here. Goodness gracious. Anyhow, do not mind that. It is good to see you all once again. My name is Tien, the god of the skies, humbly descended down to earth in my quest to search for wine and amusement by you human beings. And I am happy to have your company once again tonight on, what was the occasion again? I can't remember. I'm lucky if I remember what I had for breakfast on most days. Something to do with the new year? Hmm. I don't remember. Why am I wearing these clothes again? Yes, the Chinese New Year. That is correct. The Chinese New Year is upon us. And for those of you that do not know, the Chinese New Year is also known as the Lunar New Year, where the lunar calendar, like the Western New Year, comes full circle around and starts all over again. And it usually happens around this time. This year, the Chinese New Year is on February the 8th, 2 days from tonight. And, to all of my fellow Easterners out there, I wish you a very joyous and prosperous Happy New Year. 恭喜發財，身體健康，龍馬精神，馬上事成，何事如意, and all that stuff. I may have thrown in a couple of dies somewhere in there. You figure it out, especially if you're Asian. Now that I've gotten those obligations out of the way, goodness gracious, I want to take this all off. This is just preposterous. A dragon wearing clothes? When have you seen a dragon ever wearing clothes? And don't tell me that you've seen it on TV or in storybooks, because we all know that that's just TV. If you saw it on TV, it ain't true. Sorry, kids. It isn't true if you saw it on TV. Really. I want to just rip all of this off right now and expose myself in. I want to remove this stuffy, constraining article of clothing that is made for humans and not for the celestial dragons. I've almost got it off. Now, let's see if I can. I don't get how you humans find it so easy to strip yourselves, but it is quite difficult for me right now. I'll leave it as is. I look decent enough. After all, it is my off night. I wasn't planning to impress anyone anyways. But I have been doing well. I have not done one of these grumpy streams in a while. You may have noticed, but the last one that I had done was prior to Midwest Fur Fest. And prior to Midwest Fur Fest, well, I had been doing the same things that an old celestial grump has always done, which is, well, grump around. There is not much that we do. But I have returned back to my humble abode finally after many long travels, of which I am sure to talk about later tonight. I apologize if I seem quite unsightly right now. It's just that this human clothing is absolutely irritating for a dragon. Again, you would never find anthropomorphic creatures of any sort with any sort of dignity putting on a human's clothing. It's like trying to put on the clothes of a toddler or something, trying to fit into it when you are a majestic creature whose awesomeness and his regality knows no bounds, and then you try to stuff him inside, you stuff him inside fish, whatever this thing is. Apparently Chinese New Year robes and whatnot. But enough, I digress about all my clothing problems and lack of fashion sense and culture. I want to focus on, catching up with all of you. I have not seen many of you since the last wine stream, or I should say Grumpystream, not the wine stream, although I know that wine thief is out there tonight. If you're out there watching, I noticed that all of my sake had gone missing last night, and my human kept on insisting that it was you, even though his own breath reeked of wine. So now I have both of you in my sights. Don't let me catch you with any of my bottles. I know that you had some part to play with it, I just know it. But I also know that we have the wine thief's mother as well. Grandma Kage is in attendance tonight for the Grumpy Stream. This is her very first Grumpy Stream, if I am correct. And I'm honored to have her here with you. Hello, Grandma Kage. It is good to see you once again. For those that may have missed it, I actually had visited Grandma Kage back last year around August. In her own home, believe it or not, I played Noodle Dragon Express, which was more just a Chinese delivery boy to Grandma Kage on behalf of that wine thief. It is a story that I do not like telling because it involves me losing my dignity. Is that really anything new? I don't think so. But perhaps I shall get to that later. Because first, before anything, I need a drink to wet my throat and prepare myself for another evening trying to entertain all you youngsters with nothing better to do than to watch an old dragon ramble about like he always does. Well, as I had mentioned, I found my wine cellars utterly empty when I had returned home from my travels, as they almost always are. I am not sure why. Perhaps it's the lack of donors that I get all the time, and well, I can't restock those wine cells unless I have my shiny gold coins. But I was able to at least go out just recently, which was about an hour ago, and hit the nearest liquor store. And the place that I reside in, which is full of Chinese people, it seemed that the entire populace of the towns, and it's pretty much made of just Chinese humans, was at that same liquor store, and they were pretty much buying everything that was not related to China, which I found quite odd because if it's Chinese New Year and you are celebrating with spirits and levity, aren't you supposed to be celebrating within your own culture? But no, it seemed like it was Canada Day or something, some sort of westernized holiday where they were buying all the vodka and the rum and the whiskeys and whatnot, this nonsense that you youngsters drink. And it seemed that they were going to party hard, as I hear the term, or I would say something else, but I don't want to upset some members of our audience just yet while I am not inebriated and give enough dignity and care. But it seemed that I was the only one in search of sake there, and because no one else was buying the sake, I thought to myself, well, that means that today is my lucky day. Perhaps today I will finally be able to get some of that sake for myself, rather than being disappointed with the offerings that the liquor store had. And I turned the corner to go into this section that has all the fortified wines and the imports and all that. And what do I find? I find Shochikubai and Gakaikan littered all throughout the shelves. If you don't know what Shochikubai and Gakaikan are, they are the bottom of the barrel brands of sake that you could possibly get under any circumstance whatsoever. It's as if you are just putting, if you are drinking water that has been filtered through week old American fatty burgers. You drain it and it drips through, and then you filter it once again through a dead rat's body, and then you put it in a bottle. That's what Shochikubai and Gekkaikan tastes like. And that was the only offering that they had at these liquor stores, and I was absolutely mortified. So I stormed up to one of the young attendants that was at the front helping to cash people out and whatnot, and I just gave him a stare, and I said, "What is this nonsense that you call sake over there?" And he just gives me a blank look with a straight face and just says, "I don't know, buddy, I just work here." And I look at him and I say, "You just work here? Well, you are about to be out of a job if you don't show me where the good sake is." And he said, "As I said, I just work here, buddy. I don't know what to do for you." And I look at him and I just eat him on the spot. I literally just pick him up like that and I go, "Ham!" And after that, I was able to find the sake. I don't know how, but somehow that led to me finding in the back rooms, the storage rooms, where they actually kept some of the decent sake, and it wasn't even anything good. If I may show at the moment over here, it is a bottle over here that is by the Haputsuru Brewing Company, the self-proclaimed largest brewer of sake in Japan. And this is their Shoune Junmai Daiginjo Sake. From what I understand, this is supposed to be a value sake, which in my circumstances is the only thing that I could possibly drink because everything else was, well, you heard the description earlier. So, unfortunately, because of whoever it was that broke into my cellars last night, I have to stick with some less than dignifying sake spirits for tonight's show. But we shall see what happens. And I hope that the rest of you in the audience are able to join me. I've just dropped my straw in very undignifying form. That's disgusting. I'm still using my lovely, retardedly pink straw, as you can see over here. I seem to develop an attachment to this straw for some reason. But for those of you in the audience out there, I hope that you have something to wet your throats as well, and join me in welcoming a new Lunar New Year. Here's to you, my friends, Ganbei. That's actually not bad whatsoever. That's interesting. It almost tastes like it's been drained through. I am not going to finish that thought. It's too early in the evening. But that's actually not too bad. I may just have to have another sip. I'm going to do a double shot. So Ganbei, back to you as well. Do a double shot with me. That's how you start off the night indeed, with a double. So where do I begin? I see that this pink thing is standing up in front of the camera's view. I'm going to move that over there so that you can all see a celestial dragon and his handiwork a little bit better. Do you see my two companions behind me over here? I've got Dim over here. This is Dim because he's quite dim. And then I've got Sum over here. This is Sum. Sum is he likes to do maths. He likes sums. Sums is his name. So here's Dim over here, and here's Sum over there. And I asked these two if they would be so polite to stay on my wall for the rest of the night and act as if they were culturally appropriate, so I could totally seem like I am celebrating Chinese New Year properly. It seems that it's doing an effective job right now. So here's that's Dim. Once again, that's Dim, and that's Sum. So Dim Sum, ladies and gentlemen, Dim Sum and Tien Long here providing you with tonight's entertainment. But I want to see who is in the chat first of all. I know that there has been there's been a lack of Grumpystream, so many of you are probably anticipating this Grumpystream and maybe brought some friends along. After all, just like the wine thief brought his mother, I want to see if there's anyone else out there that perhaps is joining the stream for the first time after I've been so shamelessly advertising it all over. So if this is your first time watching the Grumpystream, I want you to give me a wave or something in the chat. I want to see right now if there's anyone out there that has not witnessed the rage that a Celestial has brought upon the stream yet. So we have Drago 1995. It is his first time. There's Midnight Shepherd. I'm not sure. Gummy Bjorn, this is not your first time. I've seen you before. I've seen you somewhere before, but I know this is not your first time. My goodness gracious. I cannot believe how irritating this thing is. It's the one button on the top that won't, it's exposing my definitely not abs chest over there, and Old Dragon does not have abs, you know. So stop looking, it's making me uncomfortable. You youngsters need to have better taste. Stop looking down there. But anyhow, let's see. It's first time. They always say you remember your first time. I'm not sure what you are trying to get at with that statement, but, well, the first time for me, it was a dark and stormy night. We'll leave it at that. Anyhow, let's see. There's some others as well. There's Cookie the Wolf. Yes, hello, Cookie the Wolf. Once again, for all of you that are joining in the Grumpy Stream for the first time, it is good to see you. And for everyone else returning to the Grumpy Stream, I am honored to have your audience once more. And I hope that, again, I am able to entertain even in the slightest for this evening. But where should I begin? I'm not sure where I should begin because there's so much that I could begin with for this Grumpy Stream. I am already slightly irritated by the fact that I had my cellars broken into once again. It seems to be a regular thing now, is that every time I have a Grumpy Stream, someone makes it into my cellars and makes away with all of which is rightfully mine. And they have a good time taunting me about it after the fact, or even during the stream, like sometimes that wine thief does. So I have to settle with once again that thing over there, that blue bottle which holds the life-saving essence for a celestial dragon. Let's see. Midnight Shepherd says, "It's great to see you. You look quite majestic and dignified." Why, thank you very much. As I had said, these robes are somewhat culturally appropriate for the Chinese New Year, as these are the traditional Tang Dynasty robes that you would see the Chinese folk wearing during celebrations such as the Lunar New Year as well as the Autumn Festival. But this is the human size. If I don't know what sort of sizes you humans use, but for dragons and humans, there's human and then there's dragon. And usually for dragons, we simply eat the humans. We don't really mind with those sizes. But someone had the brilliant idea to stuff me in a human-sized suit like this, and it's absolutely irritating. It's almost choking me right now. And I cannot believe that I am doing this for your entertainment. But then again, I do all of these Grumpy Streams for your entertainment. So I thought, you know what, tonight, let me look a little more dignified for my audience. And it seems to be working for now until I lose my dignity in a matter of moments. Let's see what else that the youngsters have to say as well. Tien, are you sure you're not the only one drinking your stash? And what is that you say? And just forget. Silver Gatomon, how could you just lay such accusations upon an innocent celestial dragon? Take a look at this innocent expression right here. Do I look like I would ever lie to you about where my sake and all my wine stocks have gone? I would never lie to you whatsoever. No, I would not ever. Of course, that just means that I have to continue to run these Grumpy Streams in the hopes that perhaps I may garner some more support for all of for the future streams. After all, this is why I have a Patreon. For those of you that do not know, the Patreon link can be found below, down there, and the Patreon is used to support the stream, to help me run more streams, and to bring new things to the stream, such as guests or special occasions, or basically to improve your experience on the stream. And I try my very hardest to show my gratitude to all my patrons. For all my current patrons, I show my gratitude to you, but I must apologize as well for being behind on sending out your drawings that I owe you, as well as updating my patron wall. I promise after this stream, I shall be on it right away, as well as whatever rewards that you are all eligible for. But as I was saying, the support that you are able to show, whether it's a very minor donation or a subscription, such as with Patreon, I am eternally grateful for anything that anyone wishes to contribute, and I only hope to provide the utmost in grumpy entertainment, because again, you children really have nothing better to do than watch an old celestial dragon yell at a piece of tiny plastic on Saturday evenings while he complains about the lack of wine, as well as the wine thief. Speaking of which, the wine thief recently had a wine stream that he had a guest on, Alkali Bismuth, the con chairman of First Squared, which happens in Wisconsin in February later this month. and a very prominent performer within the furry fandom. Some of you may know Alkali by his tall, uh, girthy demeanor and his top hat, his signature top hat, which for those of you that know Alkali well, is secretly where he hides his liver, because his liver seems to be a bottomless pit, and he can drink pretty much anyone except for a celestial dragon under the table. Yes, Alkali, if you are watching this either before or during, I am calling you out on that. But yes, he is a fantastic fellow, and he had joined the Wine Thief in a wine stream about 2 weeks back ago, and it was an absolutely phenomenal show. Much levity, much hilarity was had, and I had an absolute blast watching it while I was doing my own shenanigans as well. But enough about the wine thief. Back to the Grumpy stream, because we are not on the wine stream, we're on the Grumpy stream. I want to talk about what I've been up to lately, and what I've been up to lately is what have I been up to lately? Well, I recently had to make space in my den for another furry creature to live in. I don't quite remember who they are. It's like one of those roommates that you get where they literally never come out of their room. They just they live in that little hole, and you pretend that they're not there, they don't exist. That's what I had to put up with recently. But other than that, I have not been up too much recently, except for my travels across the seas about a month back ago. So, for those of you that may have followed where I was a month back, I had traveled overseas to visit my big brother. Big brother, if you're in the chat, please wave at the audience or make some sort of new noise. My big brother is adorable when he goes new. He sort of just rolls backwards and sideways like this, and he goes, no, and he flails his little noodles in the air, like, no. And this usually happens every 13 seconds, so for him, he's probably going new right at this very moment. Hello, big brother. It is good to see that I have woken you up from your blissful slumber. I hope that I didn't wake you up whatsoever from anything important, especially, Chinese New Year celebrations. But, well, I digress. I was visiting my big brother in Singapore, and it was actually extremely fun going to Singapore. It was my first time going to the country, and besides the sweltering heat and the amount of confusing language that I had to try to learn, it is also known as Singlish. I had an absolutely extraordinary time there, and I highly recommend it for anyone that would be interested in traveling to the eastern countries sometime soon. On an interesting note, in Singlish language, Singlish is a combination of many languages altogether, primarily English, Hokkien language, and a little bit of Malay as well, I believe. It's a fusion of all three. It's like if you took an English person, a Hokkien person, and a Malay person, and you put them in a room and you just let them do their thing. I'm not going to elaborate. And then it comes out, and that's the product right there. It's just that is what happens in Singapore, and it's an absolutely hilarious language to learn until you learn the wrong things and you start to use it on the wrong people. I believe there's someone that's watching this that knows exactly what I'm talking about. Well, I want to see what else the chat has to say as well. I've missed you all. I don't say this often, but I've missed you all. And the show that I had so been keen on bringing back, but had not had the chance to until now. Yes, the Wine Thief right now is practicing his extensive Singlish diction or lexicon right now in the chat. And he says, Chekope, and he says, you don't chipaila. And I hope your mother isn't watching. What would your mother say if she knew you were saying such things? I wonder what her reaction would be, and I would love to dearly see what she would do. Chinglish says Greek Yoshi. No, Chinglish is a completely different thing. Chinglish is the interesting it's the interesting relationship that an English person has with the Chinese language and vice versa as well. Actually, it's more of that latter, where it's the Chinese person and their relationship with the English language. It's like if they did it without consent. Uh, on second thought, it's like they did it. That's not any better either. Chinglish is totally different from Singlish. Okay, let's leave it at that. Chinglish is when you go to is if you are a Chinese person and you go to a Western supermarket, for example, and you go up to one of the supermarket employees and you ask something on along the lines of where is the Oyo? And the guy looks at you and he says, "What is Oyo? Oyo, Oyo?" And yes, and the person says, "Hiya, yes, I want the Oyo and the Oyo and the guy eyes." And the person just looks at them and says, "What in the world is he talking about?" That is basically the whole premise of Chinglish. It is the unnatural fusion. If you took English on one side and Chinese on the other side, it's the unnatural fusion of the two cultures mixed into one, and then you put it into a Chinese person, and then you throw them into a Western society, and you watch as they utterly disgrace themselves. I have absolutely no personal experience with this whatsoever, believe me. Let's see. Midnight Shepherd says, "How are you able to tolerate us youngsters?" Well, Midnight Shepherd, I have a good friend of mine which seems to go missing all the time, but I always find him when I need him most. That's how I tolerate most of the youngsters most days that I have, which is why I continually seek my alcohol when it goes missing. Because if I try to run one of these grumpy streams without the aid of my friend, it would be very dull and it would get boring very quickly because you would not be able to see a dragon get grumpy. It would just be stream, for example. It would not be grumpy stream, it would be stream. And there's nothing attractive about stream whatsoever, believe me. Let us see. Cookie says, "So, how was your month, Mr. Tien?" If you mean this past month in January, my past month was spent mostly hibernating, with a few hints of watching the Twitter drama that has happened, along with drama everywhere else as well. The first month of 2016 seemed to be nothing short of a roller coaster for most people as well. Many things had happened, and there are too many that I can personally recall, but I know that, well, things happened. I'm trying to think of something that happened on my end that made my 2016 interesting, but I am simply a boring old dragon that does nothing but complain, and sometimes I complain on camera to you folk over there. So I'm hoping that in 2016 I'll see a little more action, and that will probably most likely start actually not too far away from now. For those of you that missed the announcement, in 2 weeks' time, on February 19th, I will be making a return to none other than the wine thief's own home after I'd found my wings, and now I've decided that it's about time that I make my way back. So for those of you that did not know, well, now you know. On February 19th, the next wine stream, you shall be witnessing the clash of the Titans once more. And I hope to see you all there as well. So that will be in my upcoming schedule. And, well, other things that perhaps I hope to see everyone at are conventions as well, namely Vernal Equinox 2016. For those of you that do not know what Vernal Equinox is, it is a convention that happens in Toronto, Canada, in the month of March. And this year, we have many, many great and amazing things planned out. And I believe there are many people that are watching right now that will also be there. I know that Moth Monarch, if she is in the chat presently, Moth Monarch will be there. And I know that some other special guests will also be there as well, such as the one and only Tiny Dariel from Germany. Tiny Dariel, accompanied by her husband Richard Nightfox, they will be at Vernal Equinox 2016 as the guest of honors. So if you are if you are free in the month of March and would like to experience a one-of-a-kind convention that you are bound to return to, I would suggest you pay a visit up north to your Canadian friends, I would say. We're not necessarily your neighbors to some of you out there, such as in Singapore or in Europe or whatever, wherever you might be, but we would always welcome you with open doors. Enough with the shameless plugging for now, however. I want to get on to some interesting things that I had been seeing as of recent. Actually, one thing that had come to mind was the recent opening of the third installment in that Kung Fu what is it called again? The Kung Fu Panda, was it? Yes, the Kung Fu Panda. The Kung Fu Panda 3, I believe it was, that came out quite recently. My human slave had dragged me out to watch it as well. And, well, Kung Fu Panda 3, it never fails to impress. The entire series so far, which is only a trilogy, but perhaps it will grow, the entire trilogy so far has been nothing short of impressive. I highly recommend it. You go give it a watch if you have the spare time. It works its charm like no other. And, well, it's worth seeing because pandas. To be quite honest, if I had to reincarnate into any other species other than a dragon, it would most likely be a panda. I'd be a Tien panda, but a Tianda. I'm not sure how that works. What is it? Does a Tianda sound like something that could happen? I would have to see. If it was a Tianda, let me see if it was like. I may have something over here that represents what a Tianda would look like. So if you all remember, hey, get over here, you all remember my helper, Mr. Xiaolong Bao. Is that correct? You all remember my helper, Xiaolong Bao, over here? Hello, Xiaolong Bao. If you were to suddenly turn into a Tianda, it would probably look something like this. This is a Tianda right here. This is Tianlong turned into a panda right there. So this is my second spirit animal, I should say, a Tianda, and he's looking particularly round as well. I think he's been stuffing himself full of my wine bottles, so I'm going to put him away before he gets at my other ones. Let's see. Enough with the Tiandas and the Xiaolong Baos. I want to see what else the chat has to say as well. How were your 2016 so far, chat? I know that it has been, again, a roller coaster of events so far for 2016, but, well, the year is still young and there's still so much more to do. But what have you all been up to so far? What are you all doing tonight? I want to hear what you are all doing tonight besides watching me right now. Perhaps tonight you were doing some art. Perhaps tonight you were just simply enjoying your evening, or perhaps like some of us, preparing for celebrations that are upon our heads right now with Chinese New Year. You're watching a movie, you are being lazy this morning. I approve of both things because watching a movie and being lazy are both good for one's health and one's mind and soul. And I say that because it means that you're not stressing out over trivial things. You're not worrying about things that should not be worried about in the first place. I find that you youngsters, especially you youngsters that are still trying to get up on your feet and getting around in life, you youngsters seem to worry and stress out too much. When all you need to remedy yourselves is to just take a day off, watch a movie, be lazy, roll around in bed. If you were in bed, I will use Xiaolong Bao once again, but that's his butt. We don't want to see Xiaolong Bao's butt. If this was you, if Xiaolong Bao was you, which I hope not, all you need to do in order to cure a bad day and stop stressing out is just start rolling around. Just roll around as such, and you'll find that your days will be so much better. But what else have you been up to in 2016 and tonight so far? Somebody is listening. Midnight Shepherd is listening to some beautiful video game music soundtrack, such as the one that I had used for my introduction as well. I am glad to hear. It is always good to calm one's soul with music as well. It seems that so far everyone has had a somewhat peaceful night, a relaxed night, or morning for some, because for some folk it is the morning, for some it is very late at night or very early in the morning. And I am glad that you would be able to take the time out of your schedules to join a celestial dragon as he just continues to talk and talk with no real aim or purpose tonight, other than to entertain you all. I must have another sip first of all. Talking a lot makes a dragon thirsty. Ganbei to all of you. I'm hoping that I would be able to answer some questions that perhaps some of the youngsters have as well for this evening. I'm not sure what youngsters would want of a celestial dragon right now. Let's see. It is very early morning. Yes, it is very early morning for some. It is the morning for those like my big brother who are in Singapore. It is very, very difficult for them to align their time zones to watch. But here they all are, all of you watching a grumpy celestial dragon as he just spends a relaxed evening with everyone else here. There is one thing that had been troubling me since I learned of its news this morning, and some of you may not have heard it yet, but the closing of Rainfirst, for this year at least, this year's edition of Rainfirst. Rainfirst is a convention that was held annually in Seattle until some complications arose. And I found myself particularly troubled by this. And I will tell you exactly why I found myself particularly troubled about this. The reason why I am troubled is not so much what happened, but what could be done. What could have been done before things happened or after things had happened. And I am not saying that, people did not try their best to recover, but I strongly felt that it was a situation that could have been prevented. And it serves as a gentle reminder to all of us out there that are fans of these conventions that we must, as a group, continue to share and promote the positive behaviors of our community rather than ignore the negative ones and just let them happen, lest we have something like Rainforest happen, where they were unfruitful in their searches to find a hotel to host their convention this year, and they were unfortunately unable to find one. And now all that fun that Rainforest brought to many, many fans on the West Coast is not happening for this year. So, as a gentle reminder from a grumpy celestial dragon, do pay attention to how your behavior reflects upon the community as a whole. We do not want to lose the precious weekends that we have enjoying each other's company and the performances and the experiences that we have at conventions. So be mindful of not only yourself, but be mindful of your peers as well, and make sure that we are all promoting and engaging in positive behaviors that would keep our conventions a safe and fun place to be. That is my grumpy rant on conventions moment for the evening. I'm not sure what else I have to grumpy rant about. Oh, I do know what I have to grumpy rant about this evening. You damn youngsters and your infatuation with one certain cereal mascot that had been happening over the past 2 weeks, which I had been absolutely beside myself with. I had made no mention of it on my personal media channels, but you darn youngsters, whoever is out there that took part of it, every single one of these darn youngsters is on my waiting to receive some die list after what you had all done with this silly mascot nonsense. And you youngsters wonder why we have such a bad reputation out into the general public. It's because of things like this that what you do. This immature nonsense that you all put yourselves through, going up to an innocent mascot and saying, gross, insert gross things in a tweet here. You youngsters really, really did not know what you were getting yourself into, and now look what you've done. We've all had to run to the cheetahs, and now what? This is a 1 up for the spotted community, and a 0 for the stripes community. So for those of you out there right now, wondering why the heck we got into this mess. It is secretly this conspiracy plot of the spotted community of cheetahs and other animals that have spots to have a one-up on the striped community and absolutely dismantle any morale that the striped community had. And I know that there are some in this Grumpystream right now, such as Silent Dawn, who is a big fan of tigers, by the way, that felt that pain when they saw that everyone went from the striped community to the spotted community after that whole debacle. Because now apparently Chester Cheetah is the fan favorite mascot of our community after what happened right now. It is an absolute mess with what happened. It's like pretty much everyone just took off the stripes and went over to the spots community. And I would personally like to see how this actually is brought up during the next spots versus stripes debate that happens at a convention. Perhaps we should just bring those two in the same convention. We should bring Chester Cheetah and Tony the Tiger to the next convention and have them go at it, for goodness sakes. Let them battle it out to see who reigns supreme in this community and who all the immature childish furries should flock to. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, well, good thing. You should stay innocent. Don't bother searching for it right now. I assure you it is nothing fun to look at. And I just realized I managed to unclothe myself. Interesting. Well, at least I'm able to unburden myself with the ickiness of these clothes. I can't seem to take them off right now. Perhaps after I drink a little more, it will be a little easier. Right now, they're still quite constricting. Well, let us see what you youngsters have to say as well, because I don't like to ramble by myself. I like to ramble with you. And therefore, by rambling with you, I spread the contagious ailment of grumpiness from this grumpy stream into your hearts, so that maybe, perhaps, a little grain of grumpiness will exist in all of your minds, and you'll finally be able to understand how difficult it is to be an old-aged celestial dragon walking about and having to deal with youngsters and their antics all the time. Let's see. Yes, ramble, ramble, ramble. That is the nature of the Grumpystream, is a very large ramble. And I know many of you out there are wondering, well, the Grumpystream, isn't it supposed to be hilarious? Isn't it supposed to be rambling fun? Well, I'm sorry to remind you, but the Grumpystream is for me to be grumpy. And I will be grumpy any way I want, even if that includes shaking my tail for you. Cancel that thought. Yeah, I'm not going to finish that thought. I need another sip of my sake. Get over here, Straw. Even my straw has called it quits for tonight. My straw, my pink retarded straw over here, even this has said, I've had enough of your nonsense for tonight, you darn youngsters. I'm out of here. What? What? I'm out of sake already? What is this nonsense? Is the wine thief around here? I swear the wine thief is around here. I thought I smelled an intruder earlier today, and now I'm flinging my noodles all over the place trying to find him. The noodles are like antennae, for those of you that don't know. They are not just for decorative purposes. My dignified whiskers here serve as antennae that are very sensitive and can easily trace out and track out a wine thief if she should be out and about, such as a homing device would, and they start to swim in and out in a synchronized fashion when they detect the presence of a wine thief. And right now he's not here. How could he have made off so quickly with my sake? I shall never know, but we'll see what happens. Perhaps he'll show himself sometime soon on the stream. Or perhaps he shall remain cowering in his den, but he won't be safe for long, for I shall be there quite soon, mark my words. That one wine stream on February 19th, he will know his judgment from a celestial dragon. I need a refill before I completely lose it for tonight, especially as Tonight was supposed to be a night for celebration. Why can't I open this? This bottle is giving me quite a bit of trouble to open here. I shall try the other one. There we go. I've got so little left, and it becomes increasingly difficult for a dragon to continue going out and making all of these emergency purchases because someone keeps on breaking into my cellars. Maybe I should hire one of you youngsters to be a guard for my cellars before the Grumpystream happens, so it assures that nothing like this happens ever again. I'm sure that one of you youngsters would be trustworthy enough to guard my cellars against that wine thief and not touch any of it for themselves. They would resist that temptation and be good, faithful servants for Celestial Dragon. I'm sure there's one of you out there that would be more than willing. Let's see what I have else to talk about. This daunting thing is still in the way. I keep on hearing buzzing coming from some odd direction. I'm not sure what it is. Perhaps it's the Twitterverse right now getting triggered at what I had said about Tony the Tiger, their beloved mascot, now turned to Chester Cheetah. Right now it seems that, well, right now it seems that we're in a bit of a quandary right now where all the mascots are now put in question as well. I have seen all of the furries out there now putting their favorite mascots against each other and saying, oh, I wonder which one of them will accept me. Which one of these senpais will notice me? Notice me, senpai, notice me. I will be a forever fan. I will buy all of your Frosted Flakes related cereals. I want you to frost my flakes. I retract that statement, but yes, they are all under this notice me senpai notion with all their favorite mascots now, and I find it utterly confusing for a Celestial Dragon. Why go about terrorizing those that you idolize so much? Just let them be. Sometimes they want to sit back, kick back, and enjoy a box of Fruit Loops rather than a box of Frosted Flakes, because it's much harder to fruit your loop than frost your flakes. Yes, it is much harder to fruit your loops than frost your flakes. Anyhow, moving on for that, I am not revealing my preference for Fruit Loops or anything. It is a very, very strange experience to come back to the Grumpystream after being absent for so long. It is almost as if I had come into 2016 as a new dragon rather than the same old grumpy dragon that I was before. I honestly find it very odd because I am not one for this whole new year, new me nonsense where I try to change my old habits in an instant overnight when 2016 comes around. But it seems that the Grumpystream right now for me has taken a tone for a little bit calmer. Or maybe it's just the fact that I haven't had enough to drink yet. I don't know. Perhaps I'll let the crowd, the audience, decide. Perhaps I need a little more drink for the Grumpystream to truly turn back into the Grumpystream. Well, in that meantime, I will keep myself another sip. Before this all runs out as well, from whoever that wine thief is that is snooping around my den and seems to be taking away all of my alcohol. Yeah. Oh, right. I want to hear from all of you again. I want to see where all of you are coming from right now. Let us do a somewhat premature roll call right now for everyone and where they are viewing this from. If you are viewing this from wherever you are, from whichever state, whatever country you are from, I want to see where the viewers are currently right now, so I may have a more global sense of viewership and feel even more honored that you would grace me with your presence. I see that there are some from England, from Texas, from Wisconsin, from Belgium, but you are Portuguese. So what happens if you're Belgian but you're Portuguese? does that mean you are Belgian? Are you a Belgian, or would you be a Bulgarese? I'm not a Bulgarese. I think you might be a strange hybrid of the sort, and many of you know the rants that I have about hybrids and all these youngsters creating all these crazy hybrids that ultimately end up being something like some crazy giraffe god and everything else like that. I see there are many viewers from the United States as well as one or two from across the seas in Europe as well as Asia. I know that there is a bit of a viewership there. And once again, I thank you all for joining me tonight and this return of the Grumpy Stream during the eve of Chinese New Year for some people, particularly for my big brother over in Singapore. My big brother in Singapore right now. I imagine he is very busy with Chinese New Year celebrations himself. Chinese New Year celebrations include many pots that, well, big dragons are a big part of them because we dragons, we're very majestic and we're regal and yes, we are very much so an important part of the Chinese New Year culture and other things as well, such as copious amounts of food and eating all of that food and looking for more food and finding deals on food and other things that relate to food because the whole essence of Chinese New Year is basically food. If you have a lot of food, that is basically what Chinese New Year is about. It's just the celebration of eating so much that you turn into a Xiaolong Bao. You see, he is the consummate example, the quintessential sample of what Chinese New Year does to you. And it seems that he's had a little bit too much, so back over there you go. He rolled onto the ground and off to China. Well, I'll pick you up later, Xiaolong Bao. But yes, my big brother over in Singapore right now, him being the day before Chinese New Year, I'm sure that he over there is getting quite rosy, as I like to say. Midnight Shepherd asked, "Do you like watching fireworks?" Yes, I enjoy watching fireworks very much. Fireworks is also a very important part of Chinese New Year. You'll find in many Chinese towns that there is an abundance of firecrackers, fireworks, and other fire-related objects that are happening all around the place. You would walk outside your doors, and then suddenly your feet would be on fire because some Chinese scoundrels have thrown firecrackers at your feet, and they're exploding all over. And it's like you're in a war zone, but really it's just you're in your front yard, and you look really stupid because you're jumping all over the place, and firecrackers are at your feet, and it goes brap 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 brap. And fireworks are about the same thing as well because there's this brilliant explosion of colored sparks in the sky, and you look up and you say, "Oh, look at that! What is that?" And people look up and say, "There's nothing in the sky. It's all dark. What are you looking at? You must be insane. Go drink a glass more too. You look like you need it. You're seeing things." But the other reason why I enjoy fireworks as well is because fireworks it has fire in it, and as we all know, fire is a very big friend of dye. And dye is something that, as anyone that watches my Grumpy Stream knows, is something that I openly advocate for those of you that would cause more trouble than anyone appreciate. So fireworks and dye go hand in hand quite well, and I haven't been able to serve any dye to anyone in particular recently, but, well, we'll see what happens if there are any of those youngsters that continue to talk about mascots and their dream fantasies with them on Twitter or other social media. Is that the wine thief says, "Is that an acute angel dragon or an obtuse angel? Is that acute angle?" Oh, I thought that he was talking about angel dragons, and I was about to say that I lack the necessary proportions to be an angel dragon. For one, I am too noodly and I am too grumpy, and for two, I am unable to replicate the adorable squeak that telephone has. And well, I would hate to try to replicate that squeak. I would not be able to squeak for the life of me. Squeaking for me is the same as hearing a choking dog. which, well, I'm not sure if that's a proper comparison because for me it sounds much worse. But I would not be able to squeak, and you shall not ask me to try. What, an acute angled dragon or an obtuse angled dragon? That is a very good question. Let me see if I can figure it out right now. Get over here, you. No rolling off to China for you. I, I, I am at a loss. He is defying right now my ability to determine whether or not he is obtuse or acute. I'm not sure right now what is happening with him. Perhaps it is all the food that he had eaten prematurely for Chinese New Year. I shall put you back over there for now. Greek Yoshi, can you imagine a grumpy angel dragon? A grumpy angel dragon. No, I shall perish the thought. I shall never be a grumpy angel dragon. Grumpy angel dragons, with the squeaks would turn into growls, which I suppose I could do, but at the same time, no, I will not be a grumpy angel dragon. I had already had the experience of someone trying to turn me into a brony. And this was at BronyCon, so I guess I had it coming, but I had the experience of being turned into a brony already, and if it was as bad as that experience for myself, I think I would rather prefer to be a grumpy dragon, so I can host the Grumpystream, not the grumpy angel brony dragon stream. I do not fancy myself turning into some sort of hybrid of things, although some people have told me that I am the product of a dragon eating too much pasta. So I guess, in a way, I am the accidental hybrid product of a dragon with a box of pasta and putting it on my face, and this is how it happened. Bah! Away with you! I shall not be a grumpy angel dragon. Bah! Perish the topic. Silver Gatomon, I want to see Tien squeak. No, I shall not squeak. No, I shall not squeak for the life of me. I had already said it once before, and I will say it again. I will not be a grumpy angel dragon. You can't make me squeak. I will not squeak for your entertainment. You can't make me squeak. All these youngsters are saying squeak, squeak, squeak. It's almost as if all of these youngsters are Telephone herself and going around squeaking at people. All right, I shall squeak once for the youngsters in this chat right now. Here it goes. Squeak. There, I squeaked for you youngsters already. I hope you enjoyed it. I sounded like a retarded donkey. What else right now? I see that the Wine Thief has posted something on the chat. I have no idea what he had posted on the chat. Before I go and click on whatever, someone tell me what he had posted. He posted a link of some sort. Someone go tell me what he posted. Well, I go remove the clothes off of a hot dragon's body. I meant remove this human clothing. Damn youngsters, get your minds off of the gutter. Boy, it is difficult to get out of this, but it is hard at the same time. Oh man, there we are. And now for this next part. Goodness gracious, these heavens be gone. Oh my, I didn't realize how hot I was just now. That felt much better. All right. What are you looking at me like that for? I see you youngsters. You youngsters are giving me that look, that makes you want to sidle up to an old celestial dragon. Sort of, if Xiaolong, get over here, you. If Xiaolong Bao here was one of you youngsters, and I was just minding my own business. You're giving me that look that makes you want to come up to a celestial dragon and say, "How you doing, sexy?" You youngsters need to get your mind out of the gutters. I was merely freeing myself from the constraints of those human clothes. Nothing else whatsoever. No sort of innuendo or context in that whatsoever. And I see someone put hashtag flutterlong. What is this flutterlong that you all talk about? I don't recall such flutterlong, and if I do, I deny any knowledge of flutterlong that may have happened at a certain convention at a certain time of year last year. Flutterlong, no. I deny everything. I deny everything, and I plead the fifth. Let us see. Bring sexy back plays in the background. What a sexy? What do you mean by sexy back? Is there something on my back that is sexy? I can't see it. Is this sexy back? Is the back of the chair that's sexy? I don't know what you're all talking about. Well, I could not find any sexy back, whatever you all were talking about. You youngsters must be seeing something. Take another drink. You must be seeing something. You need a drink to help clear your mind. I shall do the same as well. There we are. Yeah, someone, I see a big dragon butt baby got... Was that a ploy for you to all get me to turn around so that you could see my inappropriate? You dirty youngsters! How dare you defile a dragon and his image like that? The nerve of you youngsters, really. What is it that popped up on my screen? No, I would not like to upgrade to Windows 10, you... Yes, one of the biggest problems that I've had to deal with for the past half a year is this little blue box that has this little blue window in it that tells me it's time to get your free upgrade for Windows 10. You can upgrade now and have your computer completely flop over and die on you. Yes, Windows 10, I understand that you want me to go and give myself some die, but I am the master of die, and I will not give myself some die and rather return some die towards you. So take that, Windows 10. I shall continue to repeatedly close your reminders and continue using Windows XP because XP is king. Anyhow, let us see. Yes, I see many youngsters agreed. Yes. Windows something, numbers and windows. There's windows everywhere. And then there's probably that one youngster out there that says, "Oh, I don't have that problem. I'm using a Mac." And I say to that one youngster, yes, you're using a Mac, but I wonder how much you pay for it and if you're able to pay for your rent or groceries or anything else after you bought that Mac. See, the people that know the value of shiny coins, or shiny gold coins, I should say, know that buying a Mac is the exact same thing as basically paying your whole rent for a year or buying groceries for a year. It's absolutely pointless whatsoever. I'd rather stick to what everyone sensible sticks to, which is Windows anything but 10. That was my little Asian computer rant for the day. Now let us see what the chat has to say. Excuse me as I stretch out as well. It has been a long day for Celestial Dragon. I've traveled long and far. Last night I had actually done another stream before this, although I had to let my alter ego, that human slave, run out and about, rather than myself. I don't know if anyone here caught wind of that stream, but I would like to see a show of hands if you were actually at that stream last night. For those of you that don't know what I am talking about, my human slave is the head of publicity and public relations for Vernal Equinox, which I mentioned earlier, and last night they had decided to host their own live stream. And that live stream included, now that I think about it, some of those bottles that he was drinking looked familiar. It was my human. After this Grumpystream ends, I shall have you find him and serve him a nice copious amount of dye. Of course, it was him that would steal my wine for his own usage in a stream that was full of huskies and otters and utter nonsense and getting a pie to the face. Do you know how undignifying a dragon looks? A noodle dragon of all dragons looks with a face full of pie. I'm not sure if I could replicate it, and I don't feel like it right now, but you can imagine my noodles being coated with copious amounts of cream and unfruitful attempts to lick the cream off of the noodles. Anyhow, it was very undignifying to have a noodle dragon with a face full of pie, and it was even more undignifying trying to get it out of his fur afterwards. I see one of the culprits in the chat as well. I see one of the culprits there. Scanny, I see you and Olafin are watching right now. For those of you that do not know, Scanny in the chat right now is one of the three culprits that were joined in with the hilarity last night in Infernal Equinox's live stream, and one of the two in question of putting a pie in a noodle dragon's face. And in particular, it was that Don Husky Olafin that had done that dirty deed and made me cream all over, not cream all over, that had me spilling my, how do I say this? They had me with pie in a noodle dragon's face, and the noodle got all soaked in pie cream. You damn youngsters, look what you made me do. I'm already losing it after just a single glass of sake, and I have an audience here tonight that needs to, that I am trying to maintain my dignity for. I don't even know if that audience has left yet, because I hope that they are continuing to honor me with their presence, but they probably left because they think that I'm now a dirty old dragon, and all that nonsense right now. You youngsters, you really test an old celestial dragon's patience. And you wonder how I get through every single one of these Grumpystreams. Well, the more of this that I'm able to get via donations by my Patreon, or a simple donation through PayPal, the more of this I get, the more Grumpystreams you get, because that means I'll want to talk to you more. And, well, perhaps a little bit more, depending on how much is given. For those patrons that are watching so far, you might be wondering, well, am I going to actually get what I paid for so far in my in terms of my drawings? Yes, you'll get that later tonight. Do not worry. I will make sure that you receive your full money's worth. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, check my Patreon page, my Patreon, which can be found down in the link below. Gummy Bjorn, they creamed your face, how naughty. It was pie cream, okay? I shall set the record straight right now and say that it was pie cream. Everyone knows that pieing is done with a real pie, usually something like lemon meringue or something of the sort, and you take the pie and you go up to an unsuspecting victim and you splat it in their face, and it's a baked good and it's hilarious, except for the person that gets pied, in case which was my alter ego, and it is a very messy thing to clean up. It was nothing vile or naughty or ill-mannered in any sort. I guarantee you such things. Upon a celestial dragon's word, it was nothing in the name of in the name of any sort of vile thoughts that you youngsters may have had. Although I can't really say about what happened afterwards, trying to clean it up, but well, noodles are difficult to clean up. Basically, we'll leave it at that. Yes, Steelwolf says he will throw pies of dye. Yes, pies of dye. Pies of dye, if I were to imagine a pie of dye, it would be similar to having a studded frying pan, basically. A studded frying pan, and I would just take the frying pan and I would smack it in someone's face. That would be my pie of dye, because a frying pan is the same circular shape as a pie, and buying a pie would be a waste of a baked good, because pies are delicious and they are fattening, as I am getting right now, and they are also they take a labor of love in order to make a delicious pie, and I would not make a pie go to waste by throwing it in a noodle dragon's face. So I would rather take a studded metal pan and I would put it in someone's face, and that would be my pie of dye. Yes, yes, pie. The pie is not a lie. I shall let that be known right now that the pie was not a lie. If the cake was used last night, then you could say the cake was a lie, because everyone knows that the cake is a lie. Because people might say that there's cake, but then when you get to the party, all the cake is gone anyways. So cake is a lie, but the pie last night was not a lie. The pie last night was actually it was actually quite good smelling. I'm not sure what flavor pie it was, but it left a very strangely attractive after smell to it when it lingered in my nose for a good hour or so. I'm not going to finish that sentence, but, well, you get the idea. It was a delicious pie. When you didn't have it running into your ears and up your nose, that is. Uh, yes, Volt says pi is equal to 3.141592653. A big string of numbers in which I cannot make out really. But yes, pi is equal to 3.14159 servings of dye. So if dye was a serving, if say this was a dye, if this here was a serving of dye, I would need 3.141592653 so and so on bottles of this, and that would equal a good amount of dye. But how many bottles do I have? I only have two of these. It's just like dim and sum. I've got dim on this side, and I've got sum on this side, and I've only got two bottles out of 3.14159. So I only have 2/3 of a dye, basically. So tonight I shall be dispersing 2/3 of a proper amount of dye onto this grumpy stream for your entertainment. I hope you're all entertained, you darn youngsters. Maybe next time, if I am more well prepared and have a little bit more support and less wine thieves in my cellars, I would have enough to consist of a proper serving of dye for a grumpy stream. And I shall take a sip more of that dye, even though this dye is delicious and is making me more inebriated. If this is how dye has to taste, then I'm not complaining, for this is actually quite a pleasant tasting dye. What types of dye are you drinking out there right now? For those of you that are joining us, Celestial, in relaxing for the night's events, I wonder, please tell me what sort of dyes you are drinking in the chat. As I take a sip of this dye. I dropped my straw again. Goodness gracious. This straw is drunk. I am not sure why it is drunk, but it seems that it is now in need of a wash, so I need to quickly make a run and rinse this straw out, and in the meantime, I guess I shall leave you all with a little bit of an elevator music. So I guess you could call this an intermission for about 2 or 3 minutes, and I shall be back because I need to go rinse this out, and I need to go find myself some more dye. So I shall be right back. If I can quickly find where I am on this darn screen. There I am. I shall be right back. Hold on. all right, I have returned. I had dropped I had dropped my little retarded pink straw several times on the way back. there, there we are. Ah. Blech, blech. I am still coughing up furballs after what I had gone through last night with that darned Olefin Husky in the Vernal Equinox live stream. The Husky had just been brought to life, and of course, as all Huskies and hairy dogs do, he was shedding all over the place, and in particular, that Husky had been pouncing all over a noodle dragon, such as if, where is that? Xiaolong Bao, get this back over here. Don't go rolling off to China, you. So if Xiaolong Bao here was the Husky from last night. Literally, Xiaolong Bao, I would have been minding my own business, trying to entertain the folks on the stream, and suddenly, Husky attack! And that was pretty much my night last night with Olafin the Husky, who had been brought to life, and to show his gratitude to me, began shedding all over me. In the natural dog sense, not the furry sense, he had been shedding his fur all over me, and quite a bit of it had been caught in my sinuses and resulted in fur balls, which I am still coughing up now. So blame the Huskies is the moral of the point. Blame those darn Huskies, because those Huskies cause so much mischief, and they ruin pretty much, well, they actually ruin a lot of things, but they fix a lot of things too. So blame the Huskies. Well, good to see how the rest of you are doing in this chat so far. I am still seeing quite a bit of activity so far on the chat. It is good to see that I am not completely lulling you all to sleep after the return to the Grumpy stream. I'd almost feared that I would not be able to put on a good Grumpy stream, and then I just realized that all I have to do is be grumpy. And there's two easy ways for me to be grumpy. The first is to drink a lot, and the second is to not have anything to drink. And either way would get me quite grumpy. So, well, I think it's been working so far, and I would prefer the former rather than the latter, which is why I had found myself a little bit more dye, which I shall try to enjoy if my retarded pink straw does not keep trying to exit the stream prematurely. This retarded pink straw here, which I am forced to use to limit my consumption of this wine, this delicious rice wine. I need to find myself a not retarded pink straw. Oh yes, and cheers to all of you folk that are still out there joining me tonight. Ganbei to all of you. And there goes another fur ball full of husky fur, which is all stuck in my sinuses. Let's see, let us see. Silver Gatomon says, I'd like to see Tien as a GOH at first grade in the future. Silver Gatomon, I'd like to see myself as a GOH at first grade as well. Alkali Bismuth is the person that is in charge of first grade. Perhaps drop him a line and suggest so. But I've had this thought recently as well, after quite a few youngsters had mentioned it to me, which was seeing me at more conventions, appearances of Tianlong, the Mighty Celestial Dragon, at more conventions. And though I would dearly appreciate being to see you all, it's just not possible for me without some support from the conventions itself. I would love to be able to give back to conventions, to give back to the youngsters, the audiences that are the reason why I keep on doing what I do, which is yelling at cameras and yelling at you. But, well, sometimes it requires a little more than that. So, perhaps in the future, if there's some sort of influence that can happen, I would be more than happy to attend conventions if they would have me there. So, let us see. The wine thief. I see things about the wine thief. What is the chat saying now about the wine thief? Wine thief, wine thief, wine thief. Something spelling sad puppy face. All of us. Wine thief. Where is this wine thief? I don't see the wine thief. Where is the wine thief? What? Huh? What? That is my reaction as well. I don't see any wine thieves happening right now. Maybe he's behind me. Is the wine thief behind me? I don't know. This chair is quite small. I don't know if I see the wine thief anywhere around. Maybe behind the curtains here. No, that's just the real world. The real world is a scary place. I don't go out into the real world often. The real world, it is almost like a video game for those to see. And the real world, in the words of those that have gamed before, the real world had pretty good graphics, but the storyline and the characters were kind of boring. So that was the real world outside the window over there to the right, and I would rather prefer to stay here, yelling at a camera to an audience international, and enjoying a night of simple, relaxed socializing with copious amounts of dye. Uh, uh, let us see. Moth Monarch, Tien, I'm not sure if that would be better or worse with a little pair of shorts. Maybe it depends on how little. A little pair of shorts? What do you mean by a little pair of shorts? Do you mean like the human clothing shorts? Because we've already seen what happened when you try to put a celestial, a majestic regal dragon in human's clothing. But to put him in shorts, are you talking about the short shorts, the skimpy little pieces of fabric that some women wear around as an excuse to cover up their thingies? I'm not sure that would work on me. It's not quite flattering. If I stand up and you see, it's not quite flattering for a dragon. I simply don't have the curves for it, as the humans would say. I don't got it. Yes, Tianlong does not got it. Tianlong does not got it whatsoever. No, he does not. He does not meet the standard requirements for having it, so I don't got it. Anyhow, shorts. Shorts would cover your butt, but then it also might cause what is that? People to look more because things are hidden. Yes, that is the problem, is it? Is that if you cover things up, people will start to wonder, why are you covering it up? And this is a question that I see often about fursuiters as well in the public when they wear shorts or they wear something that, people would assume, oh, they're covering something up. Maybe it's none of your freaking business! So, anyhow, in terms of shorts on Tianlong, I'm not sure how good noodle dragon fashion is. Noodle fashion for short. But I'm not sure how good noodle fashion is. Perhaps you can design a pair of shorts for a noodle dragon to wear, or noodle dragons, I should say. Perhaps that could be an area which you can invest in more. Does Jerry Husky says, does Mr. Long ever say? Does Mr. Long ever say? Does Mr. Long ever say fennec foxes? I do say fennec foxes. Yes, I do, Jerry Husky. I always say fennec foxes. Fennec foxes, such as the one that you would see in that movie Zootopia coming out next month. Fennec foxes are cute, yes, and I would say fennec foxes as often as I can. Speaking of fennec foxes and speaking of Zootopia, well, I must say that I am personally quite excited for the movie to come out myself. After all, who would not be excited when you see a bunch of animals wearing human clothing and doing human things? On second thought, I am not excited for Zootopia at all. I am mortified by the idea. Blah! All these animals wishing that they could be humans. They should have some sort of plotline in the movie where the animals just simply turn back into animals and they are all animalistic and they all go rah, and they all go meow and they all go rrr. What kind of animal goes rrr? I'm not sure where that came out of. I hope that's not the noodle dragon. Hmm. I'm actually not sure what kind of animal goes. It sounds like the sound you make when you're. Hmm. Is it perhaps the sound that one makes when we're? Anyhow, next question. Anyhow. Uh, hmm. Let's see. Let's see. Yes, noodle sounds. Noodle sounds, as Briggs Buckingham says. Yes, Briggs Buckingham from Buckingham, I believe. Yes, noodle sounds. Noodle sounds. What does a noodle sound like? I've actually never wondered myself. Well, for one thing, I know what a noodle's song sounds like. It sounds like one of the songs played during the introduction. One of the musical pieces named A Celestial's Ball by the incomparable Fox Amour, an outstanding composer and musician in this day and age, and a good friend of mine. I suggest that you go check out Fox Amour and his official submission called Celestial's Ball on his SoundCloud as well as his Fur Affinity, and show him some support as well as gratitude for such a magnificent piece that he had created for me. Foxamo, I don't know. I don't think that Foxamo is on the stream right now. It is quite late where he is. But if you watch this after the fact, Foxamo, greetings to you as well. Keep on doing your thing and foxing about. Actually, don't keep foxing about because that could have very different meanings depending on who you are. Anyhow, moving on. Yes, noodle sounds. Noodle sounds usually encompass things that you would do when you are encountering noodles. For example, when you encounter noodles, let me have uh, Xiaolong Bao get over here. So if you are encountering noodles, such as Xiaolong Bao, he's encountering me right now. Xiaolong Bao comes up to me, and his reaction to encountering noodles, let me move my drink out of the way first. His reaction to encountering noodles, this would be a noodle sound, is that's the sound that you would make when you are encountering noodles. And the wine thief would know that quite often because he encounters me quite often. And the sound that you would make when you are eating noodles would something. If Xiaolong Bao was eating my noodles, for example, don't you dare eat this. This is just for an example. If he's eating my noodles, it would sound something similar to. And when he's satisfied from the noodles, this is the noodle talk, by the way. If you are eating noodles with a friend, and when you are satisfied from the noodles, it is a very very simple sound that you make to communicate that you have been satisfied, you have been placated, you have been satiated by the noodles. You just make this simple sound. Anyhow, thank you, Xiaolong Bao. That was very helpful. You are true noodle. Thank you. All of you go over here to the side. I hope your speakers were not turned up too loudly. I'm not sorry for anything. Let that be a lesson to you youngsters. I shall have another drink after doing those noodle sounds. It makes a dragon's throat parched. Ganbei to you all. May your noodle sounds be ever frivolous. Or noodly, yes, a less difficult word. May your noodle sounds be forever noodly. Let us see. Yes, all that 5.1 surround sound. Yes, surround sound, where the sound surrounds you as if it were four big beefy noodles surrounding you from all corners, and I'm not going to finish that thought, but yes, surround sound, where if you want to experience surround sound in its fullest, you must simply be in a static position, as I am right now, and then you start going in and out like this, and you will start experiencing sound from all over the place in varying degrees, and suddenly, after a few revolutions, you will start to feel almost off balance and dizzy. But this is how you know that you're experiencing the surround factor of surround sound. Do it with me, folks. You must practice if you want to experience the next generation of sound engineering. Surround sound. Ugh. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, I think I heard more of myself than anything surrounding me. I'll have to work on it. I'm still a beginner at surround sound. All right. Yes, Tien HX. That is correct. The T in THX stands for Tien because I invented this shit. No one else could. And celestial dragons know all about surround sound. Ganbei to you. Oh, right. This dye is quite tasty. I might have to go grab more of this dye. I'm just hoping that the wine thief doesn't come up anytime soon to try to take any more of that dye away from me. But yes, I will have to go grab some more of this dye soon. For $9.95, this dye actually tastes. For $9.95, this bottle of dye. Don't know if you can. Oh, there it is. This bottle of dye here is actually quite good, and $9.95 in Canadian prices right now is about what is it? About 50 cents in US. That's a depressing thought. But yes, about $9.95 in Canadian dollars is about 50 cents in the USA. So you know that this is a bang for your buck sort of dye. And wow, it is so good that it's making me Dragonberg. And it is actually the best thing that you could get if you want to avoid having to haggle Chinese style. And if you've never heard of haggling Chinese style, it is very simple. Find your nearest Chinese supermarket, pick something up and bring it to the counter and say, is this on sale? And you will hear the Chinese person do something along the lines of this. First, they will start cussing at you in their native language, as if you just the most offensive thing ever. So you take for example, you take a wine jug. You take a wine jug such as such, and you bring it up to the Chinese counter, and you bring it to the Chinese person, even if they might not be Chinese. It all looks the same to you, darn Americans. And you give it to the person, you put it on the counter, and you say, "Is this thing on sale?" And they tell you something like, "你有冇搞錯啊？唔使做生意啊！聽日要生鋪啦，嚇!" Which basically means go die in a burning fire of hell made from noodles and stuff. And then they will respond to you in their broken Chinglish and say something along the lines of, "You think this cheap lah? This best price lah? You don't find this anywhere else lah. You 周志拜lah." And then they suddenly say to you, and then they suddenly take a nice tone with you when they realize that you're not Chinese. Especially if you're white, this is the best part, is that if you are non-Asian, if you're non-Chinese in particular, they'll suddenly become nice when they realize that. They say, "Oh, I am sorry, mister, I am sorry, Mrs. This is the best price we offer, but you seem like good guy, you look like good guy, you are my best friend. You look like you're a good person. I offer you a discount. I give you 50 cents off discount, best price you don't find anywhere else." And then you just look at them and you say, 50 cents? 50 cents is nothing. 50 cents can buy me nothing. 50 cents can buy me a shrug from you. And they say, and suddenly they get angry and they say, 50 cents a lot of money. What are you talking about? 50 cents is so much money. I'm a cow. 15 cents. And then they start cussing at you in their native language again. And then they realize that you are a white person once again, or a non-Chinese person. And they say, "Look, you, buddy, I like you. You have good clothes. You look like a friendly person. I give you more discount. I give you 50 cents more off." And then you say to them, "That's only $1. What are you talking about? $1 is nothing. I want more off of this." And they say, "Are you kidding me? $1? $1 is so much money. You go to a dollar store, you pay $1, you buy something else." And then after that, it becomes a whole mess of trying to debate over one single dollar, which is still worth about $10 here in Canada, basically all for one single product. And this happens on a daily basis with the Chinese population. So the moral of the story is, well, sucks to be you if you're not Chinese. Anyhow, let us see. I see. The wine thief says only if they bring me sake and tea. Excuse me, wine thief, do I see you soliciting your ill intent on my stream? Trying to get my audience to bring my wine to you? Is that what I see right now? Because I'm catching on to you. I know of your ways, I know of your tricks, trying to bribe, actually, trying to bribe all of my audience over to your side by saying how fun it would be to bring all of Tien's wine to your stream and watch Tien explode as he watches you drink all of your wine. Yes, I can imagine it now. I can imagine all the youngsters saying, "Oh, let's bring all of Tianlong's wine to Kage." They said, "It will be fun." They said, and then they realize just how fun it is when I come knocking at their doors with a nicely wrapped present of dye. I see you, wine thief. Don't you worry. I've got my eye on you, and I've got my other eye on my sake that's over there. Wait, where's it? Where'd it go to? Why is this bottle empty? He's already got into one of my bottles. I must protect the other one. I must protect it in my stomach, which means I must take another sip of this and protect it inside my stomach where he would not dare find himself trying to steal from. What? My cup is empty as well. Preposterous. I could not have run out that quickly. He is somehow onto me. I must protect the rest of this by pouring it into my cup and quickly consuming it as fast as I can. Get out of here, silly chap. There's not much left in this indeed. I don't know who of you is aiding the wine thief in his quest to sober me up, to introduce me to sobriety, but it will not work, I tell you. I will forever stay a drunken celestial dragon, I tell you. Right, where was I again? All these youngsters here almost do. Let us see. What are you youngsters saying? What are you youngsters up to right now? Perhaps you youngsters have questions for an old celestial dragon rather than just me rambling on for the rest of the night. Although that's essentially what the Grumpystream is for. Well, before I see that, I want to see who is in the audience. Tien, how deep and dark are your eyes? Well, Silent Dawn, perhaps I shall answer your question by leaning up nice and close to the camera so that you can see for yourself just how deep and dark my eyes are. Here we go, ready, see? There, that's how deep and dark my eye is right there. I don't know what you're looking at right now, hopefully not below the camera, you darned dirty youngsters. But I want to see who is currently in the chat right now. A roll call, you might call it. So I would like to start from the top of the list all the way down. Currently watching, we have Kenny the Dragon, we have Silent Dawn, we have Green Dragon, Greek Yoshi, Kenichi 340, Caraway, Silver Gatamon, my big brother Grumpy King Long, Scanny, we have Northwind, Marcus, Dragon Glompus 7777. I guess that might be an alter ego for Xiaolong Bao. We have Shloppy, which is apparently what I am becoming as I drink more. Flash Hound, Jerry Husky, Cookie the Wolf, Briggs Buckingham, Wine Thief. Ha! I told you we had a wine thief on our presence. No wonder my sake stock has been running out quicker than I could imagine. And don't you dare even start with the accusations that I have been drinking my sake at a faster rate than I should be, because I would definitely not do something like that. We have Dimitri Rathos, Steel Wolf, we have Night Dragon, we have Wild Bill TX, Drago 1995, Sky the Wolf, Pinstripe Olafin, SSL, we have Jacktail, the creator and owner of the First Stream website. Jack, greetings. We have Ghost Angel Dragon, Tempest Rose, and Frost Fox. Uh, uh, we also have, oh, it skipped quite a bit of people as well. We have Grandma Kage, we have Moth Monarch, we have Demon Taro, we have another Grandma Kage. Why are there two Grandma Kages in the street? That is interesting because I know that Grandma Kage is not one to be coy like that. Grandma Kage is a very sweet, very polite, well-mannered little lady, which I thoroughly enjoy the presence of. Again, I had to be the Noodle Express delivery dragon. I had to pay her a visit during the month of August to her humble abode, and it was a very pleasant, although brief experience. So I would wonder why there are two Grandma Kages. And there's Gummy Bjorn, and there's the wine thief, the real wine thief, I should say. The real wine thief appears twice. Why is the wine thief appearing twice on my street? Does that mean that there's one that is watching from North Carolina and one here in spirit that is the one taking all of my sake? Preposterous! He has not learned how to clone himself like that. I hope not, at least. We have as well Midnight Shep, and Silent Dawn is also appearing twice. Am I just seeing things at this point? I might be seeing things at this point. I think it has something to do with the lack of sake that I have, rather than a shortage of, rather than too much sake, I should say. I think it is a lack of the sake that is to blame for what is happening right now. Well, before it all runs out, I should probably return to my sake at the moment as well. If I missed any of your names as well, because an old dragon's eyesight is poor, I apologize, but to each and every one of you, once again, I thank you for joining into my stream tonight, and I hope that I've been able to entertain you even in the slightest, and, well, perhaps I have earned your appreciation for being able to entertain as a grumpy old dragon who has nothing better to do than to yell at the camera in his spare time, because that's what old grumpy dragons do these days. By the way, Big Brother, if you're still watching, I don't know if my Big Brother is still watching from Singapore because he has his own Chinese New Year celebrations. Big Brother, if you're still watching, please do me a favor and ask your Mama Noodles and your Papa Noodles to see if they can come and spectate even for just a moment the noodles on the western side, which they had met last month, to come and spectate so I may give them a proper greeting. Big Brother, if you would so kindly do so, I would be much obliged to you. Let's see. Dragon Glomper also has to leave as well. My retarded pink straw is growing more retarded by the second. Maybe it's a sign that I should drink before it becomes too retarded to drink over. But yes, Dragon Grumpler, thank you for did I say Grumper or did I say Groper? Dragon Grumper, thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a pleasant evening. All right, back to the retarded straw. Yes, the retarded straw that is over there somewhere. Yes, back to the retarded straw and trying to get it so I can have another glass. Ganbei as well, as usual to you all. I hope that your throats have been thoroughly wetted by whatever drinks that you are joining me with in tonight. Alright. I can only imagine some nights being like a picture that Moth Monarch had once drawn for myself and Ching Long. Moth Monarch, I know you are watching. If you would be so kind as to link the picture that I commissioned from you a while back with my big brother and I drinking at the bar, if you would be so kind to link that into the chat so that I may just showcase it to the rest of the audience of what I always imagine whenever I'm doing these grumpy streams. After all, these grumpy streams are not possible with each and every one of you watching right now, and, well, it's hard to describe in words, so I'd rather have a picture to describe it, and a while back, Moth Monarch had actually done a picture of myself, my big brother, and a whole crowd who was celebrating at a bar, a very particular bar, the Red Bar at Midwest Fur Fest. And we were all celebrating, and it was a levity. It was a very light-hearted time. It was a celebration amongst friends and of friends. And, well, if I may say, it was also my revenge against the wine thief. And it is what I imagine every time I host these grumpy streams. So if you have one moment to take a picture of, or take a look, not take a picture, though you may take a picture, to take a look at this depiction of what I imagine the grumpy stream is like, let that be known that this is how I see every single one of these encounters that I have with my audience. A time amongst friends, having light-hearted moments, having drinks, and being able to appreciate each other's company. So, well, I'd like to basically put that out there. And thank you once again, Moth Monarch, for such a stellar job in making sure that the wine thief sitting at the bar in the back has no wine. All right, moving on. Yes, the wine thief indicates that the bar has been sold out. When you have two grumpy noodle dragons obsessed with their sake and their wine, I wonder why they would be sold out. Interesting. All right. Silent Dawn says, an evening with friends and dragon bum. A, a bum. I deny that I know what you mean by that, Silent Dawn, but on that note, I think it is time for me to start my drawing for the patrons before things get really out of hand, although I assure you they will not get out of hand. So in any case, first of all, I will check my patron list at the moment. If you'll excuse me. Right, where are we here? I will check that. I will check. I cannot navigate this human thing. Here, let us try this. Let us try typing P. No, don't type the exclamation mark, you silly thing. P. Oh, it works. Oh, it works. And there we are. We are at the patron page. So I may see exactly who is eligible at the moment to receive such drawings right now. Let's see. It is Volt Ashcore, Silent Dawn, and Silver Gatamon once again. And if I am correct, all three are now on the stream, which means that I get to draw for these three lovely donors. For those of you that have not seen my Patreon page yet, when you donate $25 or more every stream, I draw something for you. Any sort of request, as long as it's within reason, of course. And after the fact, I mail out your drawing to you. Now the catch is you have to be here during the stream so that you may be able to request the drawing. And again, you must be a paying donor. So these three are the ones that are so far the paying donors that will be receiving a drawing from me. And in return, I will be mailing it to them, as well as the drawings that I owe them from back in December, and, well, giving them my gratitude as I always do. So, let us get started. It is better now than ever. Retarded straw, stop dropping on me. I get it, you are retarded. You don't have to remind me every 5 minutes. All right, let's see how I shall do this. Give me one moment while I go grab my little book here, which I will draw with. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it almost needs to be all right there, don't mind me stretching out in front of the camera. Alright, how shall I do this? This is going to be difficult for me to do. Let me just get back to my chat over here. Wherever it is, I can't see where my mouse is. There it is. Oh, did I just close something? Oh, I just closed the chat box. Huh. Silly me. And I just closed the web browser as well. Dragons cannot use technology. You'll have to give me one moment while I relaunch this chat. Huh. This is why celestial dragons do not use technology. We simply don't know what we're doing half the time. We press things that we see in front of us and hope that it works, which I am doing right now when nothing is working. And I just closed the darn web browser once again! What is this madness? There we are. Back online. Alright, here we are. Drago 1995. When is my birthday? Well, Drago 1995, it depends on whose birthday you're talking about. My personal birthday, Tien Long's birthday, has already passed. His birthday was January 17th. But if you are considering my alter ego, my human slave who is in charge of basically everything else outside of me grumping about, his birthday is on February 21st, 2 weeks from now. And, well, I imagine that he'll be celebrating in appropriate fashion. In appropriate fashion, that means that he'll be having more alcohol than I am. Which is a very depressing thought, because that means that he'll be getting away with the alcohol, and I'm still left sober. What is this madness? Alright. Back to drawing, wherever I can, when I can find what I am on this computer at the moment. Alright, let's see how it's going to work. Move that out of the way. Put this down here. Open a page, open a new page. There are some things that I should not show. Ooh. Well, I should not show this on the camera, should I? Anyhow, let us see if I can find a blank page so that I may start on my drawings right now from my patrons. This time I am going to start with none other than Silent Dawn, the lover of tigers, I have personally called him, because every single time I see him wanting a drawing from either myself or the wife, it's always about tigers. So, well, tigers it is. Tigers, Team Stripes, as I would say it myself, even though, as I mentioned, Team Stripes suffered a crippling loss earlier this month. Well, not this month, but earlier in the year. Anyhow, I seem to have a blank page now, which I can actually show to the audience. Let me just grab the camera really quickly. Does it show that? Yes, it shows that. I cannot really, I can't really control this at the moment. It is going to be difficult for me to hold it here and draw at the same time. We'll try it anyhow. Let me put this down first. Alright, let us see how this works. Alright, we have this thing. We have a blank page, and Silent Dawn, if you would now be so kind as to request what you would like me to draw for you. I could probably guess something about tigers right now. I hope not Tony the Tiger, because, well, you could get some serious ideas about that, which I would not want to delve into. Let us see. Silent Dawn. Kage should donate his stand. Well, if you would like me to draw Kage donating his stand, I could, or I could draw Kage being eaten by a tiger. I'm not sure, but, well, we could see what happens. You see, there's this beautiful page right here, which is waiting for you and your request to be drawn on, and there's me, the Celestial Dragon, here that is still waiting for you to make your request right now, and the camera right now is doing some crazy zooming in and out. Crouching, I see a tiger pouncing. Tien Long, why is it every single request it is a tiger pouncing? Perhaps I should just draw tigers from now on in anticipation, because well, it is always tigers pouncing. I have nothing wrong with tigers, but well, tigers, stripes. Bleh. All right, a tiger pouncing me it is. So let us see what I can do. All right, tiger. So we have the tiger, a tiger's nose as such, and we have a tiger. This is his eye. That's the tiger eyes, and the tigers are very floofy because it's a tiger. Tigers, and the tiger has a smile on its face because the tiger is pouncing, and the tiger has ears. It has very fluffy ears as such. And we're gonna give the tiger a little bit of hair fluff as well, because that's what tigers do. And we're gonna give the tiger a bit of cheek fluff because tigers got cheek fluff, and a bit of eye ridge and stuff like that. And and the tiger is going to have bubble limbs because everyone knows that bubble limbs are appropriate for tigers. So that's the tiger so far, and the tiger is going to be leaping. So it's going to have a sausage limbs, or a sausage body, I should say. So the tiger right now it looks like a peanut tiger. I'm not sure what a peanut tiger is, but that is what a peanut tiger is, and it's got its two legs over here, and the legs look more like pegs at the moment. Um, well, yes, this is a tiger pouncing Tianlong, and it's got its tail, and the tail is up in the air somewhere like that. And it's got more, and it's got even more. It's got more fluff. It's got so much fluff that it's fluffing the whole page. Oh, see, it's like lightning speed fluff. Lightning speed fluff pounce, roar, tiger stripes and stuff. And as we know, tigers have stripes as well, so we shall add the stripes too. We shall add the stripes all over the tiger, showing his tiger stripes, showing his team colors as always, and some stripes on the face as well, because you cannot forget the tiger stripes on the face. There we are. Some stripes and all that and whatnot. And then we're supposed to have myself, you say, Tianlong. Okay. Well, counting Tianlong, and Tianlong's face is, well, my face is quite simple to draw. You simply draw like something like that, and you draw my big pokey nose. It's not a pokey nose. It's just for the children, and and something like that. I don't know how to draw myself, and I'm utterly surprised, and I go, and I'm going, oh my gosh, what is happening right now? And I have my noodles here. These are my two noodles. There we are. And my name. Cannot forget a celestial dragon's bane. It's what makes him look celestial. And let us see. Got all the details in the ear fins and all that. And you have my horns, my big horns, because dragons are horny. We all know that dragons are very horny. Can't forget the horns. And there we are. Some more details on Tianlong being pounced by a dragon, and I'm waving my little hands in the air. My little hands in the air, and there's my little peanut body as well. I have a Mr. Peanut body. It's like, yes, a Mr. Peanut body is what I'll call it. All right, and there are my feet as well. There's my bubble feet. Ooh, and well, it's a peanut tiger pouncing a peanut Tianlong, I guess. And you've got the fluff and floof and lots of fluffiness because, well, fluffy. And so far that is so far the peanut tiger pouncing the peanut Tianlong right there. I forgot to add a little detail on me. I have to add my stripe on my nose. And yes, that right there is the peanut Tianlong. The peanut tiger pouncing the Tianlong. It's like peanut Tien, so it's like peanut. It's the peanut long right there. Yes, it's the peanut. All right, so Tien, the peanut tiger pouncing peanut long. There we are. That's for Silent Dawn right there. And I'm sure I shall change it later. Perhaps I shall add a little caption. Tianlong over here. Tianlong over here is saying, OMGWTF. He is saying, this silly camcorder is in the way. OMGWTF. Right there. He's saying OMGWTF. And we have the peanut tiger is like all happy. I think that look is happy, and he's saying OMGWTF. Look at that beautiful artwork. All right. That's for Silent Dawn. Give me a moment while I turn the page so I may get to Silver Gatomon would be next. I will get to Silver Gatomon next. Give me a moment. All right. All right, here we are. Silver Gatomon is next. Silver Gatomon. Silver Gatomon, are you in the chat with us right now? Silver Gatomon. Tien getting hit with pie. Are you serious? You want a picture of me getting hit with pie? How can you be so desperate? Fine, I guess this is what you pay for. Tien getting hit with a pie. All right, here we go. Tien getting hit with a pie. Here we go. We have the pie. We must draw the pie first. So this round circular thing is the pie, and the pie went splat. So we will make the pie all messy and gooey, and parts of the pie are flying off already, and it's all messy and gooey and all that stuff. And we have to do the base of the pie, and this is the pie. This is the pie plate, basically. I guess it's called. You can't really see it because this darned cord is getting in the way. Give me a moment. Alright, there you go. That should be good. Alright, so you got that. And then you got Tien. And Tien's features are obscured because he's hit in the face with a pie. And those are Tien's bubble limbs as well. And you got Tien's features, such as his ear fins, and then his ears back here, and then his horns, because, well, again, as we all know, Dragon's very horny. And then over here we got his other features as well. More horniness over there. And then we got to have his peanut body here as well. So we got Tien and his peanut body, and then he's got his little fluff features, and then he got his little feet here as well. And the pie is going splat in its face, and the pie itself has like a little angry face on it as well. So the bottom of the pie plate has like a little angry face. So it's like an angry pie being thrown in Tien's face, and I'm going to give Tien a little tail here. There we are. Alright, so Tien is basically being hit in the face with a pie here. And I'm not sure if I should add like a whole army of pies or something. But Tien being hit in the face with a pie there. Well, I have to blame, once again, Scanny and Olafin for this mess that they got me into. Very undignified indeed. So, pie in the face for Tienla. Anyways, next. And finally, we have Volt Ashcore. So, excuse me once again while I flip the page. I'll cover the camera first while I flip this darn page. Come on, you, come on. Come on, flip this page. There we are. There's a... Alright, there we go. Blank page, blank page. I really should donate, or I really should get one of the stands that Weinke uses whenever he does his drawings. Anyhow, Wolf Ashcore, the last patron of the night who I owe a drawing, as well as I owe you that drawing from back in December, but those shall be mailed to you shortly after the stream. Volt Ashcore, could you do Tien, Volt, and Kage raising a glass? I cannot make that out one moment. I'm going to draw off the camera once again. I cannot make out exactly what your request is saying. Raising a glass to Kage's father. Ah, okay. So you want me to do a tribute to the late Uncle Kage, basically. Right. something just happened with the chat just now. But yes, I shall do my best to basically do this piece justice. For those of you that don't know, or did not hear of the news, the wine thief's father, as well as the husband of Grandma Kage, Mr. Samuel Conway Sr., had passed away on January 25th due to health complications. And, well, Volt here is requesting that I do a tribute piece in his honor, which, again, I will try my best to do justice for. I am not sure how it will turn out, but we shall see. So I will draw myself first. We have Tien Long, his big boopy nose, and Tien and his features and all that. And Tien is smiling. I very rarely smile, but I am smiling here. There we are, there we are. Now we have my noodles, because noodles are very important. We all know what noodles are. Well, not noodles are for, but noodles are not exactly all for slurping, not in my case at least. More horns. Here we are, horns and horniness. Yada yada yada. You all know the drill. And, well, I have one glass in the air over here. And I have my little peanut body. Everyone gets peanut bodies. It's like that Oprah saying, you get a peanut body, you get a peanut body, everyone gets a peanut body. So I have one of my glasses here. I shall give you that glass here. And I shall put the wine thief in the middle. So the wine thief, I will draw him as his cockroach character. One of his most well-known characters. He has a cockroach character. And his cockroach character here is, I'm trying to make him smile as well. I am not very sure how to draw the cockroach character from this perspective. But he also has his peanut body over here as well. And he is wearing his lab coat as well, because he is most well known for wearing his lab coat to conventions, and he's wearing his tie as well, because he is a consummate professional. And he has a glass over here in his right hand. And he has his little legs over here, his little bubble limbs over here as well. So that's myself and the wine thief so far, and Volt, you shall be on this side over here. Volt has this big snoot. You see this massive snoot over here, because dragons are very snooty creatures. And Volt over here, he's got his own little glass as well. He's raising a glass over here. So draw the rest of the features as well for Volt. Dragon. I shall edit the details later, but you get the idea so far for now. And he has his little body over here, little peanut body, as all dragons do. Little more limbs over here. I'm running out of space on this page right now. But we have 1, 2, 3, and up above over here, we shall have none other than the smiling face over here of Mr. Samuel Conway Sr. himself. I am not sure how to exactly draw him at the moment, but the little smiling face of Samuel Conway Sr. himself, I shall name him Sam Sr. Grandpa Kage, as he was most fondly known within this community. And, well, there's your request, Volt. More or less, there's your request of 1, 2, 3 raising glasses to Mr. Sam Senior Grandpa Kage. Oh, I should probably add little wings on him as well, because wings are adorable. So he's got his 2 wings over here. He can fly free. He is free from all of the limitations that the human body has, and is now basically watching over all of us and wondering exactly what the heck we are up to, because I guarantee you, if he saw this nonsense that we are up to right now, he would be wondering, what the heck do kids do with their free time these days, watching old celestial dragons yell into cameras and doodle silly things in the camera. So, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Grandpa Conway. I had the pleasure of meeting you once, but I never had that moment to explain to you exactly why these kids like all this grumpiness, because I simply don't understand myself. I just hope that you enjoy it as much as I do. So, there you go once again. Folks, this is Volt Ashcore's request of the three Drunketeers 1, 2, and 3, toasting to none other than Mr. Sam Senior Grandpa Conway. Right. I shall set the camera back down. It's a little off kilter at the moment. Let me fix that a little bit. There we are. That's better. And those three drawings shall be sent out to the patrons shortly after the stream, as well as if I owe you any from the December stream that I had run back in December. So, let me quickly put this back. Right. And we adjust a bit more. Alright, can you see me? I hope that the stream is somewhat back to normal. Just the camera a little bit more. Now you're all looking at my crotch. This is not good. Alright, back up into it. There we are. That's a lot better. And somehow I am seeing some weird things on the stream chat right now. I don't know that it's happening. Let me refresh the page. Alright. Yes, alright. Now it is back to normal. Once again, thank you to all of my patrons. I hope that I was able to do your requests justice for the night, and I will be sure to send your drawings out soon. Why is the camera still tilted? I don't know. Maybe I should just hold the camera like this for the rest of the stream. That would work particularly well, because that means that I have my eyes on all of you, and none of you would be able to steal from my wine cellars, lest I find out who it is. Oh, there it is. Alright, let me put this back down. Is that a little better? No, is that a little better? That's much better. There we are. Alright, and, well, for what it counts, I want to raise a glass once more to all of you still with me on this Saturday evening, watching as the Celestial Dragon, well, basically does his thing on the Grumpystream, continues to be grumpy, and occasionally says something smart or says something worthwhile listening to. So, Ganbei to you as well. Come here, retarded pink straw, let me show you some love. There we are. It is good to finally be back in form in terms of the Grumpystream. I had been worried earlier this evening that I would not be able to entertain all of you youngsters, but it seemed that all that I was missing was sake. Well, after saying that, I realized that I am always missing sake, but again, I was able to salvage something for the Grumpystream tonight. Well, perhaps next time I won't be as unfortunate, but for now, we shall focus on this Grumpystream, which all of you have joined me for, and I hope that, again, you have been entertained in even the slightest of ways as you join an old Celestial Dragon. Let's see if anyone on the chat has anything to say as well, because, well, I have an audience, and I want to cater to my audience. It's not just about me, it's also about the people that I do this for as well. So, let us see what the audience has to say. Midnight Shepherd, have you read any good books lately? I cannot say that I have read any good books lately that would be of the furry interest, but I have read one book recently that may have been in the interest of those that are more in the sci-fi sort of genre. And that book is called The Circle. The Circle, I don't remember what the author's name is because currently I am terrible at names. But if you search up The Circle on Google and you see the book. It is quite an interesting book about basically what happens if technology suddenly took over our entire belief systems, our truth systems and whatnot. But an old dragon basically reads whatever he picks up these days, and this book was thrown at me by some human who sticks his nose up Dragon Noodle's businesses. Don't think too hard about that. But yes, good books lately. That's the only one that comes to mind at the moment. Pink Straw loves you too, Tien. Yes, the Pink Straw does love me. Otherwise, it wouldn't let me put it in my mouth. Uh, on second thought, the Pink Straw does not love me because I put it in my mouth. Uh, Forget both of those sentences. The Pink Straw has a neutral relationship with me, and I do not want to trigger it lest it goes on Tumblr and complains about me putting it in my mouth. Next question. Anyhow, uh, any favorite movies? Well, Drago, as I had mentioned earlier, I had recently watched Kung Fu Panda number 3. Kung Fu Panda number 3 really did a number on the series, and it brought back that same charm that the first movie had, but kept it nice and interesting, as well as had a very wonderful visual appeal. The visuals of that movie were just absolutely outstanding. It was like if a children's animation movie had intercourse with like Michael Bay explosions, that was pretty much it. Uh, Anyhow, next comment or question. Let's see. Uh, Chenlong and Chenglong, what are your plans for this Chinese New Year? Well, my plan for Chinese New Year is basically go around and beg like a beggar. Pardon the redundancy. Beg like a beggar for more offerings so that I may go and retrieve shiny gold coins to use in investments for liquids that help fuel the Grumpystream. Yes. As for my big brother Qinglong, I'm not quite sure what he's up to for his Chinese New Year plans, but I assume that it would be something along the lines of stuffing himself until he is unable to move, and then he would come rolling across the continent over to me and complain in the same fashion in which I demonstrated in earlier this stream. No. Anyhow, for Rikyo, she says, for liquid and Eurofurns. Well, Eurofurns is a convention that I would dearly like to attend, but for this year, it somewhat looks out of the question for me. However, I will be contending a European convention in May, however, named Confuzzled as well, which takes place in Birmingham, the United Kingdom. So if you're in the United Kingdom, or if you will be attending Confuzzled in May, you will see me there as well. It will be my first time in Europe, actually, and well, I'm quite excited after I hear how gracious the European people are towards cultured people, creatures of cultured descent. And I think I fit that description quite well. Yes, I do believe that I am part of this cultured society. Yes, I drink my sake with my pinky up, as you can see right here. I have my retarded pink straw, and I drink with my pinky up as such. And I'm very high class. Yes, cheerio. What? The mom's paw is get over here, retarded pink straw. Anyhow, let's see. Yeah. Wild Bill says, so you will be Euro Tien now. Well, it would be interesting to see what it would be like if I went to Europe, for instance, and picked up some of the local German slang and brought it back to the Grumpystream to start off. It would be an interesting experience to see what would happen, what the Europeans' reception of Tien would be like. because I seem to have shocked the North American crowd with Tien. I don't know why I'm referring to myself in third person right now. I sound like a movie right now, but I don't know what the reception would be like to a celestial dragon such as myself. Hmm, interesting. We'll see what happens if I'm able to make it to Europe, friends. But, as I have said, two of the German furs, I should say, are coming to Fernal Equinox in Toronto, Ontario next month. And, well, if I may say so myself, considering how strong the United States dollar is against the Canadian dollar, for those of you that are down in the States, perhaps you may want to consider coming to Canada for a convention. After all, it's not like you'll be losing much anyhow. Hmm. Let's see. Uh, yes, fancy Pinky Tien. Yes, I do treasure my cultured approaches to drinking very much. For thank you for noticing. It's almost as if I could develop my own. What is it? The British accent, the cultured British accent. Do they call it posh? I wonder. I think they call it posh, and actually, I've had someone confuse me for having a posh accent before. Many people comment on Tien's accent and say that they find it to be a little bit posh, and they wonder if I had been hanging around with too many British people. And I simply clear my throat and and I say something in a similar fashion. I say, well, such a low-class person of yourself would not know what posh really sounds like, now would you? How could you even bother trying to be part of this high-class society when you don't even drink your tea with your pinky up? Anyhow, yes, people commenting on an all-celestial dragon's accent because they have nothing better to do. Anyhow, let us see. Gummy Bjorn says, I hope to see you at Eurofriend Sunday 10. I hope to see myself there Sunday as well, Gummy Bjorn. Perhaps one day I shall make it to Eurofriends, whether as an attendee, whether as a guest, whether it just be an old celestial dragon has nothing better to do and is looking for some drinking company, because I've heard those Germans are quite good at drinking. Let's see how they fare against a celestial dragon. Let's see. Jackson says, if you're going to Birmingham, you need to learn Brummy. I'm not sure what Brummy is actually. If Brummy is the lingo that they speak in Birmingham, I would dearly love to learn how to speak it before I make a trip to Birmingham. Well, I'm probably guessing it is like a mix of Birmingham English and, well, perhaps rum, because the word rum is within Brummy, so you can't say Brummy without rum. Perhaps that means I need to switch my alcoholic preferences to something a little stronger. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. Midnight Shepherd says, how do you deal with overcrowded airports? Well, Midnight Shepherd, you see, I am a dragon of quite a large size. You might not realize it, but I am quite large in, well, certain ways that anyhow, I don't deal with overcrowded airports. I just sit on them and they are gone just like that. Anyhow, next question. Let's see. You bloody wanker is how we say hello in Birmingham. Interesting. Well, a bloody wanker, you say. I should try that with my accent as well, because again, I don't know what happened there. Something happened. Anyhow, oh, it was the thing back there. It was made in China anyways. I just put it up so I could feel cultured. Anyhow, yes, I should try it with my accent, because that is what most people find interesting about me. You bloody wanker! I don't know if I said that correctly, but you bloody wanker! Okay, that works a little bit better. I shall keep that in mind when I go to Birmingham in May. Your dragon friends are leaving. No, dragon friends are leaving. No, I do not want my dragon friends to leave. I want all my dragon friends to stay. Dragons must stick together. We are one. We are one family, us dragons, and we dragons must be able to stick together against the forces of evil and wine thieves. Yes. But if there are dragons that are leaving, it is good to see you in the stream as always. I am glad that you were able to attend, and I hope to see you next time. Uh, all right. Dragons are the most honorable species, Walt says. I would say that you are biased, Walt, but I agree with you wholeheartedly. Dragons are the best species. After all, that there is that saying, the old saying that every creature from time's beginning knows, which is FYIAD. It is basically Fennec you, I am a dragon, or Fennec you, I'm a dragon. I say Fennec because we have polite company with us tonight, and I am morally obliged not to indulge in my rude drunken tendencies. So FYIAD is Fennec you, I'm a dragon. You fill in the blanks if you must. What? Well, Fennec foxes as well, right? Fennec foxes, ladies and gentlemen. We must not forget our Fennec fox friends. Uh, Dragons are hot. I mean, meow. Well, I mean, if you say so, Silver Gatamon. I mean, I don't usually try to, anyhow, next comment. Uh, Drago 1995. Dragons with Britain. Dragons with British accent are sexy. Are you saying that I am not sexy because I don't possess a natural cultured accent from a certain country because I happen to be an Asian dragon, an Eastern dragon, a Chinese dragon? Are you saying that I cannot be as sexy as these other British dragons? Hmm? Well, I'll have you know that I have been I have been more cultured than some of these British wankers, as they call them. Hmm. I am a celestial dragon, and I am of the highest class society, and I drink my sake with my pinky raised up in the sky, as if I were sticking something other into the sky, but I assure you that I am of the utmost classiest society that there is out there. And my accent is of no indication of just how classy a celestial dragon is, or how attractive they are. That's the most that I'll ever get. Anyways, next question. Uh, uh, nah, you're sexy. I take that back. I don't take that. I am not. No, there is no such thing as sexy in an old dragon's diction. No, there is not. There is no such thing as sexy. Stop calling me sexy, you youngsters. It makes me feel all uncomfortable and whatnot. Anyhow. The rum is gone, says Rummy. Why is the rum gone? Why is the rum always gone? I don't know why the rum is always gone. That is an interesting question. But, well, if the rum is gone, go get yourself some more. Don't be in the same predicament that I am in, where the sake is all gone. Which, is it all gone? Is it actually all gone? There's still a little bit left. I must consume this before the wine thief gets his hands on it as well. There we are. This is the last glass for myself, which means that I must make this last glass worth it, and so should you, if you are still here with me on the stream so far. I see sexy dragon, sexy new, oh god, sexy something. What is with you youngsters and trying to antagonize an old dragon by calling him sexy and making him all uncomfortable and riled up almost as much as I was when I was stuck in that human clothing and whatnot, and making me flail my noodles all around as I am so much that they're bound to get tangled, and then after they're tangled I'll have to call one of the youngsters to come here and untangle them for me, which will result in a Well, I am legally obliged not to say such things. I need a drink of that sake I just poured. So come here, retarded pink straw. Let me show you some dragon love. There we are. The retarded pink straw knows that from experience, being put in my mouth is not sexy. Yeah. All right. Uh, uh, Turk, please. We need a feeding of Dragon Bomb again. What is with the obsession with Dragon Bomb these days? I don't know what kind of bombs that you youngsters keep on insisting on, but there is no such thing as Dragon Bomb being found anywhere. Absolutely none whatsoever. And I will not be tricked once again to check for any sort of Dragon Bomb because you youngsters. What was that? Did that come from behind me? What was that? Is that the wine thief? I hear you down there. Anyhow, as I was saying, you youngsters will not trick me for revealing any sort of inappropriateness with myself and whatnot. I know better than that. I've been around for much longer than you have, and you will not get anything out of me, not a peep. All right. Let's see. So far, the night has been quite relaxed for myself, and I hope it has been relaxed for the latter of you as well, if not all of you. I say the latter because some of you might be chortling over there at making a dragon all uncomfortable and whatnot with words of sexy and bomb and all this childish nonsense that I cannot stand whatsoever. I mean, some of the more dignified and polite company that is in this stream, such as Grandma Kage, such as my big brother, they are probably all so disgraced right now at the youngsters forcing a celestial dragon into such predicaments. I hope that you out there have more than enough to drink so that you may tolerate this behavior as much as I am. But, well, I might as well drink along with you as well since I'm mentioning it. So I hope that for the rest of you that still have drinks out there, that you are still able to keep up right now. And what else are you youngsters saying as well? This generation just thinks sexual stuff. And to be quite honest, it is the natural phase for those youngsters of that generation. They can't help it but not keep it in their pants. And, well, to quote a man that I once knew, who, in my eyes, was the consummate gentleman that I wish that I had gotten to spend a little more time knowing about. Just, well, you know, yeah, just keep it in your pants. That's what I would like to transmit to the younger generation these days, especially those that, well, the ones that were involved with such fiascos such as towing the tire and whatnot, is just keep it in your pants, you damn wankers. As you can see, I'm practicing for my visit to the United Kingdom in May. I think I'm doing well so far, don't you think? For those of you that are in the United Kingdom right now that are still watching, let me know how my performance is doing. I must practice before I visit your country in May, so that I may blend in with the people and utterly impress them with my cultured personality before I ruin it with wine. Let's see. Yes, that is what belts and zippers are for. I completely agree. Gummy Bjorn says, I can't keep it in my pants. I need to go pee. Well, Gummy Bjorn, you go do that if you need to go pee. Best not hold it in. Very uncomfortable. Not very. That is a sure way to serve yourself some die if you hold it in like that. So go and do your business. Don't let us disturb you. Let us see. You're getting that Brit speak down nicely, though. Ideally, there should be more swearing. Uh, well, again, we have polite company that is with us in this live stream right now, and I would not like to offend their presence by unleashing a tidal wave of vulgarity upon them. So for now, I shall refrain from the copious amounts of profanity that a celestial dragon may be inclined to do. But well, let me see if what kind of company we still have now, if I may. We still do have Grandma Kage. Grandma Kage, if you are still watching, I don't know if you're still there, but Grandma Kage, if you are still watching, I hope that you are doing well, and I hope that you and I are able to sit down once again for a lovely meal in a week and a half's time. We still have Moth Monarch. Moth Monarch is one of my favorite artists. Whimsical cartoons and other pictures always bring a cheer to my day as well. Jacktail, the owner and creator and the person that is basically first stream, and he is currently watching as well. I hope you had a good time, and I am impressing you with my adaptation of the British culture, especially with my pinky up. So I shall keep my pinky up for the duration of this call. We have Demon Tarot still. We have Grandma Kage's double, which I'm not sure who that is, but if you are simply trolling, as the youngsters call, I don't know why you would do so. It ain't cool if you youngsters call it like that. We have Gummy Beyond still. We have the Wine Thief. We have Midnight Shepherd, Silent Dawn, Kenny the Dragons, Silent Dawn again. I'm not sure how Silent Dawn got on twice. Green Dragon, Greed, Yoshi, Kenichi, Caraway Silver, Gatomar, my big brother Grumpy Chinglong, Scanny, Terry Husky, Dimitri Raffos, Steel Wolf, Night Dragon, Jackson, Wild Bill Drago, Pinstripe, Jack Tail again. It's his website. I'll give him a pass for being here twice. Ghost Angel Dragon, Tempest Rose, Kenny, Sky, Cross Marcus, and Volt. So we still have all of these youngsters during this stream as it continues. Well, I am honored once again by your presence, and I hope that, well, although after the last class it seems that the stream will close, I hope that you've had a entertained time here while the stream has been running. Well, in that case, I would wish to take another sip of the sake, a light sip so that I don't drain it all in one gulp, although some of you may accuse me for doing so. Wine thief. All right. Well, let us see what else the chat has to say as well. Duplicate names confuse the dragon. Well, you cannot blame me, Simon Dawn, if duplicate names confuse me. It's like if you duplicated the wine thief and put him beside himself. If there were two identical grumpy old mans in lab coats and a shirt and tie, and you put them beside each other and they both held a wine glass, and you would be quite confused as well, and you'd say, what the fuck? You would have that sort of expression as well, and I am able to say that because that is a expression that is inadvertently tied with a curse word. So it's a Philly expression, all right. So it's like if you had two of them put together, side by side, not put together, but side by side, and it's like seeing double, and you're wondering exactly what was put into your drink, which makes you have another drink in order to attempt to wash it away or something of the sort. There you go, exactly. I see that the stream itself understands my plight. It's if you take that wine thief and you multiply him and you put the two beside each other and they're mirroring each other. If one speaks, the other speaks, and if one drinks, the other drinks, and if one passes out, then the other passes out. Although I think that wouldn't take too long for him, and you would say, "Yo, the fuck." And that's how it would be. That's why I am confused. I am confused. Yes, I am confused when I see that sort of thing happen on my stream. Um, Anyhow, let us see. Yes, Silent on it. Hey, cheesesteak with yo. Cheesesteak with yo. I don't know if my Philly accent is adequate enough, but cheesesteak with or uh, the fuck. Yes. Anyhow, uh, yes, the three-word cheesesteak order. The three-word cheesesteak order, if you don't know, is when you are in Philadelphia. That is how you order a cheesesteak. You go to any other place and you try to order a cheesesteak. If you use more than three syllables, you're pretty much doing it wrong. Or if three or four syllables, depending on what you do for them. If you use more than three or four syllables, basically, the nearest Philadelphian will teleport to beside you and give you a nice slap on the face, followed by a yo da fuck. That's basically how it works. So, uh, that is basically how culture works. I mean, I had been talking about being a cultured dragon all throughout the stream so far, and I can't do that without actually proving that in some way I am cultured, whether it be the pinkies up when I am drinking my sake, as I will do so now. I am drinking the sake with both of my pinkies up so that you know I am twice as cultured as any of you. Uh, uh, as I put that retarded pink straw in my mouth. Uh, Anyhow, let us see. Uh, Drago says dragons swear European dragons, Americans a lot. Uh, no, I don't. No, I don't know. Or as the Americans would say, fuck no. No, of course we don't. Uh, Anyhow, let us see. Moth Monarch, one American with it, one cheesesteak American cheese with onions. So it's basically if you put it in the Philly way, it'd be yo cheesesteak with. And the guy doesn't even need to clarify because if you're in Philly, the guy already knows. And if he gets it wrong, you literally just look at him and say, "Yo, the fuck," and he'd say, "Oh, yo, sorry, man." And that's when the problem would be rectified. You don't need to even give any other sort of detail. And I love that beauty. The beauty of that culture where it's so simplified and people just naturally understand each other. Unlike what you get with the furry fandom, where it's just impossible to understand what people mean when they talk to each other about things, and sometimes the most innocent form of communication comes across as the wrong way. For example, if you are on Twitter and you tell your favorite cereal mascot that you want him to frost your flakes, I mean, perhaps he just wanted you to put more sugar on top of his flakes, and uh, frosting his flakes. Anyhow, I digress. Let's get back to what people have to say. Anyhow, yeah. Yes, Moth Monarch right now is giving the chat a lesson in Philly speech right now, in Philly language right now. Jeet yet is basically did you eat yet? See, the Philadelphians are some of the most efficient cultures, efficient people, I should say, that you will find on pretty much this side of the world because they basically they understand what it is to be annoyed with having to enunciate such words such as did you eat. So they basically just shorten everything to one or two syllables or three at the utmost maximum so that you didn't have to waste your breath trying to say things and you had that breath saved so that you could eat things or drink things or do both at the same time. It's the same thing as saying the word water. And saying the word water requires you to open your mouth and then close your mouth or put your tongue against your water. Put your tongue against the top of your mouth in order to enunciate that T within water. But the Phillies found an easy way to do it, and they just said water, and it just naturally rolls off the tongue when you say, instead of water and using that extra effort, you just say water, and water is water, and it sounds so much. It just makes things so much easier for people to say. And it's the same thing with cheesesteak with or the fuck. And that communication is basically condensed into one or two or three syllables, and life becomes so much easier. You don't have to deal with complex forms of communication when you could just do it the Philly way. Ugh. Yes, exactly. As Moth Monarch points out, less talk, more doing stuff. Because talk, 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 that's all the Celestial Dragon is basically doing right now. He could be doing more stuff, like stuffing my face full of sake by just saying, yo, the fuck! Which I shall do right now, with both of my pinkies up because I'm a cultured beast, unlike what you would normally think. Blech. God and baby you are. Ah, don't tell me that was the last of it just now. Yeah, you can't be serious. That was the last of it. Ah, goodness gracious, that was the last of my glass. And that was the last of the 2 out of 3 pots of dye that I would serve myself this evening. Good gracious. I see. I see Uncle Kage. Good. Hello, Uncle Kage. Oh God, Bala. I see. Oh, I see. So that's basically the way that you say, like, you're not from here, and you're trying to teach them how to say things, huh? Well, I got news for you, wine thief. I'm gonna bring you one day. I'm gonna bring you into a Chinatown full of those Chinese funny looking people that you always seem to make fun of. My culture, and I'm gonna put you in the middle of them, and you're not gonna know what the heck to say because you can't understand a single word of what they're saying, but I can't. And then I'm gonna make you try to say the same things that they're saying, and you're gonna be the one looking like a balachuli, whatever that is. Oh, right. Yes, and I'll make sure if that ever happens, that I'll get a recording of it and make sure that I post it on YouTube and Twitter and all that sort of nonsense so that everyone can see. Or I have a better idea. Grandma Kage, if you're still watching, I hope you haven't been too upset with my behavior this evening. Grandma Kage, if you're still watching, how about I take you to that Chinese supermarket once again? Or I'll take you to a new Chinese supermarket and I shall introduce you to the wonders of the Chinese supermarket. Things, exotic things, extravagant things, and little morsels you've never seen before. And then I'll have you introduce it to the wine thief. And the wine thief will be just so flabbergasted and so appalled by the things that he sees and the things that he hears and tastes, and then being unable to pronounce anything that you serve him for dinner, that I'll be able to just stand there and shake my head almost as if in disapproval for his lack of cultural adaptations. Perhaps I shall do that next time. Well, you can consider that almost as if a date from one aged gentle soul to another. Uh, yes, and oh yes, the wine thief is correct. She'll be making durian-soaked fish heads if you take her there again. Oh well, Grandma Kage, I wonder, have you had any experience cooking with durian before? If not, I'd be more than happy to show you so you'd be able to feed your wine thief all the nutrients that he'd get from durian. Let us see right now. it seems that the night is slowly beginning to wind down so far, and I am out of sake as well, which is a little bit of a travesty. But then again, I had to make do with the circumstances. The circumstances being, I had my sake stolen once again by someone. So, well, it seems that if the chat is coming to a close, I would like to see if there are any more comments, perhaps one or two more comments about things that I should bring to light or to discuss about before this edition of the Grumpy Stream comes to a close. So let us see if anyone in the audience still has any more comments or questions for Celestial Dragon before I go wander myself off to sleep in preparation for the new year to come. Let us see. Silent Dawn would like to know, Tien, how Canadian are you? Well, I would say that I am 100% Canadian, but I lack a certain product that the wine thief, I believe, showed off in his latest wine stream. It is a mouth spray that makes you feel 100% Canadian, eh? And will make you go up to the nearest Canadian that you can find and say, "Hey, I'm not your buddy, guy. Don't do that to me, eh? We can face off in a game of hockey right now, eh? And I'll be timming all over your Hortons, eh, buddy?" And I don't quite have that aptitude yet, but I'm still working on it, and perhaps by the next stream I shall be 100% fully integrated into Canadian culture. I am still missing the red flannel shirt and the axe and the whole lumberjack beard. Actually, I think I may have a lumberjack beard going on right now, but I don't know about these noodles. These noodles. Well, well. Anyhow, yes, as for being Canadian, I'm still working on it. I'd say right now I'm about 69% Canadian. Anyhow, let's see what else. Can you have pretty eyes? Oh, well, thank you. Perhaps you'd like to look at those eyes a little bit more. Yes, get a good look at those eyes. I don't know what you're looking at right now, but you better be looking at my eyes. Anyhow, yes, I see Canadian things. More comments about Canada. Well, apparently, you all have some fascination with Canadian things. Tien, would you ever go to Miami, Florida, please? Well, Cookie the Wolf, I have been known to go to Megaplex, which is in Orlando, Florida. I have not been as fortunate enough to attend anything in Miami, Florida. But, well, Megaplex I have been to before, and perhaps if the circumstances are right, maybe I'll be there again. Who knows? It is better than being far away in Canada. But we'll see if Megaplex is in the books for me. Great Yoshi says, "Can you stomp on the camera? I am far too lazy as well as inebriated to even attempt such a thing because I may just fall over and flatten a city if I try to do that. So I shall refrain from stomping on the camera from now. Well, if you really want to see me stomping things, I believe one of my dear friends, Rogue Megawolf, may have some things on his Fur Affinity page that demonstrate me stomping on things. Maybe you should go there and take a look. Alright, well, it says, yes, something about eyes, or Tien. Yes, Tien, a fellow dragon of mine who enjoys the same sort of hobbies that I do. Yes, he is a very good dragon. Yes, I know. Something about eyes, something about Canada, Canadian eyes? That's what I'm putting together right now, is Canadian eyes. How does one have Canadian eyes, I wonder? Is it perhaps when you look into someone's eyes and they remind you of hockey, for example? You look into someone's eyes and suddenly you see this hockey game in an outdoor rink in the wilderness somewhere. or you imagine an entire forest full of trees just pouring copious amounts of maple syrup all over you, as if you're showering in maple syrup. Perish that thought. That's like a Canadian orgasm. Yes, that is a Canadian orgasm to be showered in maple syrup. Anyhow, well, it seems that it is almost close to the 3 hour mark right now for this grumpy stream. And right now, well, I am out of sake, and I don't want to keep anyone. Huh, I don't want to keep anyone basically for the rest of the evening. But yes, Silent Dawn actually brings up quite a good point. From the last grumpy stream that happened, Uncle Kage, also known as the Wine Thief, and Alkali finished off an entire bottle of maple syrup in their stream, which was actually quite ridiculous. They were taking shots of maple syrup as they went. And in that sense, they were more Canadian than I was, because I would never in the history of celestial dragons do something as audacious as taking shots of maple syrup. That's that that is beyond Canadian. That is in the realm of things that you shouldn't do. That is the realm of, if you had a whiteboard of life and things that you signed up for, that is in the realm of things that you should not do. This. That is pretty much where it is at. Shots of maple syrup. Because you will inadvertently find yourself becoming more and more Canadian and having more of an affinity towards Canadian creatures, such as myself. Although I am technically not quite Canadian, I am more Chinese than so. But that's besides the point. Let us see. I have from Skylar Wolf. I will buy you a bottle of maple syrup for the next stream, Tien. That almost sounds like a challenge that I am willing to take if you do buy that bottle. Perhaps maybe I should do that for the next stream, is become full out Canadian for the next stream. Tianlong, the great celestial dragon, becoming full out Canadian for the next wine stream. I wonder, or not the wine stream, the grumpy stream. I'm still thinking to that ridiculous amount of maple syrup that the wine thief and alkali had consumed. But maybe that should be a thing for the next time, is me consuming everything maple syrup related or flavor. I don't think I would be able to live through that night. We'll have to put that in the books for the next time. But again, it is coming towards the 3 hour mark, which is when a celestial dragon usually retires, as well as I'm out of sake. So I think it probably is a good time for me to call it an evening, so to say. But for those of you that are still with me, I thank you once again, and for the final time this evening, for staying with me, and I hope that I have been able to entertain you in even the slightest of manners. And I sincerely hope that you will join me for the next Grumpy stream when it is announced. So, I am Tien Long, the Celestial Dragon, God of the Skies, signing off on the second eve from Chinese New Year, and I hope that you have yourselves a pleasant evening, and that I've been able to provide some entertainment once again for your evening. And be sure to follow me on whatever channels that I have, my Fur Affinity, my Twitter, my Facebook, so that you may know about upcoming events that I may do. So, with that being said, I wish you all a good night, and see you all very, very soon.